Okay, welcome again. Today's May 13th, it's 4 p.m. This is the Lunenburg Water District Commissioners meeting. We'll start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, it's a set of meeting minutes from the last meeting.
Is it possible to have these emailed, I mean, even 10 minutes before the meeting is good to read, you know?
If you want,
Yeah,
I can try my best, yeah, yeah.
As soon as they're ready, just send them, I don't care, no, just because it's hard to
Yeah,
digest it here in just a couple minutes, you
Yeah,
know?
you kind of just skim it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly what you do, yeah. What's your action on it?
You're correct, Christie. Sorry, I was not on the same wavelength on that one at all.
They just had to do overtime, cause in
Yeah,
that.
for the,
No,
no,
that's big,
I
right?
saw them out there.
Yeah.
Equivalent to the service, the curbside. I told them they would have to come to my house.
Be the same
Probably
way.
gonna be the same way, just, you know, okay, like twice. Mr. Parsons.
Oh, we did have warrants.
Yes.
See, it said warrant, and I was, yeah.
Oh, I know, that was the special, sorry. Which you can pass over.
For a second, I'll do it later. Sign this one on the wrong line, but it's still a line to sign
No,
on.
Zoom can do all this, man.
I know myself. I've had enough of
Do it all
it.
for you.
I'm good. That's really good.
Is this from, that,
Firework.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So is that, it's basically saying 30 for your minimum user
So here you're looking,
monthly.
yep, so we did a quarterly, monthly breakdown, yeah.
Is there another McNamara here?
Yeah, my son works there.
Oh, what does he do?
Just that general work on, yeah.
You've been paying since you've been here, Bill, so
I-
go ahead.
For example, maybe they weren't together, like, I thought I was seeing doubles, I saw Daniel and Francis.
I went through the ethics and all that, it was
We met with the other staff and. Good kid, worked hard. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know which way this goes.
This way. If they're all signed, I'll take them back.
Sorry.
All right.
people were already out posting comments, and I know we talked about this, that we were working on what we were gonna do to solidify estimated costs to consumers. So for them to be posting comments premature to us putting anything out, kinda confuses things, but I know we discussed it. Mr. Chair, make a motion, we accept the minutes of May 6th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Okay. Oh. PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So,
Third thing, review PowerPoint presentation regarding the water district.
this thing feels heavier.
So yeah. There's some more stuff on here.
So-
Waterworth, yeah, take it away, Fran.
So we spent quite a bit of time on this. So we tried to go through the process of where we're at, and then through the loan, timelines, and then the financial impacts to each of the customers. We did several different ways of doing it. We did a quarterly, a monthly, and then we did, at the end, what's the potential if it's a no? And,
So if you wanna
so
go.
I think we should go through it. I mean,
Yeah.
So we did a lot, we took a lot, I was just trying to make it simple. I mean, it wasn't, Time Bond made comments on it, because when Lou was here, he took a copy with him.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't have that, you need to change stuff,
Yeah.
so we put some of his, took his input.
Why don't you walk us through it, and then if we
Sure.
have questions, we
Yeah.
can, does that sound fair?
Yeah.
So it
Okay,
looked like,
so first page, why, I see the comments, Masters at 20 parts per trillion, that's not true, they have to meet the EPA, EPA's at 4, it's what it is, PFOS and PFOA are not changing, we some documents on that, so that's how it is.
The only thing I will say on page 1 that Lou mentioned, we originally had different dates, and he told us to be correct now. We should put plan and design by the end of 2026 and construction by 29, because the EPA has not
extended.
not
officially.
Yeah.
They are
It's
saying
requested, we
it's
think it's going
requested.
to, but
Sure.
Lou felt we should give what
The
it really
exact-
is.
Yes, so that's why
And like I've
that's
said that from the
So-
beginning too. like-
So, I want to make sure, so give it what it really is with respect to the timetable,
To today.
but don't give it what it really is with respect to the PFAS requirement. Because what it really is 20. So,
But
But
EPA's 4, Masters has to be 4, or better, or worse, more strict.
or perhaps even 10.
No kidding.
No.
Can't-
If
they
EPA's
can't
4,
go-
Masters has to be 4 or lower.
Has it changed since
no,
last time?
EPA has set it up.
I know what the EPA says, I'm talking about, we take our marching directions from Mass DEP.
Which has to take it from the EPA.
What, my point is, if we use today, what is it today?
EPA passed 4, but it's
What did Mass DEP today, what's the regulation
20.
today?
20.
As of
It's
today, it's 20.
Okay, so we say we're not gonna, so it's 20 today, but we're not gonna use what it is today on this slide, but on the other hand, we're gonna use what it says today with respect to the timetable.
Okay, so why-
Even though, in fact, you passed out last time, even though the OMB has already approved the 2-year extension. So I don't think there's any doubt that it's a 2-year extension.
I agree. I don't think
That's,
there's
we
any
can
doubt.
change the dates, this was just a
Yeah.
suggestion
That's
from
just
Time
draft.
Bond.
But I agree,
But
I
it's the
think
same
the date's
way.
gonna change.
It's the same way, there's
Uh,
no doubt that EPA has set it at 4, so,
OMB agreed. Extend the PFOA and S maximum containment levels compliance
You can put it
deadline.
Mr. Chair, can I
Yeah.
stop this for a second? Because I have a problem, okay? You pull stuff out of your folder to have at a meeting that we don't get a chance to even look at.
Like this,
No, this I've never seen before right now.
yeah.
And they took the time to print a copy for all of us to review. But you bring that, and I don't have a copy of that, so I don't know what you're talking about, and I haven't had a chance to review it.
This was,
You bring affidavits from residents stating that there's kayak racks that have been there for 20 years, yet you don't send us copies before you bring them to the meeting. I would respectfully ask you, if you have stuff that's pertinent to what we're talking about, that you share it with the board.
which ones do you want to talk about? You want to talk about?
I know, I'm just saying, if you have
Let's talk-
information that's
let's-
pertinent, Share it with the board.
Let's not speak generally, you mentioned the affidavits.
Yeah.
Oh, but we're gonna
I
pause.
said- No, I have, let me
We have
please.
a line item for that.
Okay, we're talking, he asked me about not sharing things. I sent you all the affidavits
After the
ahead of
meeting.
time.
I asked you to
Yes,
send those to me
yes,
after the
after
meeting.
the-
He's
yes,
talking about that you
yes.
didn't share those with
Yes.
before the meeting.
I think what Mr. Burris was trying
did.
to say.
No,
and just
I
know-
didn't get those till after when I requested them.
Okay, I didn't get this until I requested it. I didn't see this ahead of time.
What he's
either.
saying is you came to the last meeting with a stack of affidavits that you didn't share with anybody. It wasn't until the next day, after our meeting, that I emailed you and said, all those affidavits that you had in your hand, can you email me?
Yeah.
What he's saying is, nobody was aware that you had a stack of affidavits until you showed up at this meeting with them in your hand. He's asking you before the meeting at 4 o'clock to email them to him instead of surprising us with things that we are not aware of.
Or.
That's all he's
I think
asking.
maybe we may have to clarify that as to how much he can email back and forth. I guess. what
That's
Mr.
one of the
Okay,
concerns.
one of the concerns I believe that Mr. Burris has is I do too. It's just like, before we all come to the meeting and sit here as a board, if you have information such as this that you want to share with the board, I would like, just like you said with the minutes, to be able to peruse it first and look at it and, you know, like, oh, okay,
Sure.
so maybe we can sync up a little bit more and know what each other's talking about, or if we have counterpoints, we can bring it up versus just pulling out a piece of paper, and that's, I think that's
Sure.
all we're saying.
Sure.
Is that?
I understand that.
Okay.
Now, can I also say that one of the issues that we're talking about was this lawsuit? I wasn't aware of this advisory until I came here. I wish I'd have had it. Had I had it, we wouldn't have wasted a lot of time at the last meeting because it was misread, and I'll talk about that today. I didn't have this ahead of time, it was a surprise. We had I think a 4-page PowerPoint presentation that we were looking at the entire time. I shared that with everybody. As I was going through it, I was sharing that, okay? I come here today, I've got I don't know, 20 pages
When you
of
walked
a
through the
PowerPoint.
door, Fran and I were literally printing
Okay?
the pages
the-
to staple
the-
together at
The
4 o'clock.
affidavits you're talking about, guess when I got them? Guess when I got them, okay? I mean, it doesn't matter, but that's, I got them before I came into this meeting. I hadn't even read them. I didn't even know what was in there until you asked about it, and I was looking at the dates. So, let's be clear, if sharing information ahead of time is 2 issues. Well, the biggest issue, you all have to be careful about how you share it.
Absolutely.
We've been using our clerk here as a conduit. But even if you use the clerk as the conduit, you still have to be careful about how you share the information according to the open. So I'm very sensitive to that open meeting law. So I can't share with Christie things that we have to debate, because if she moves it on to you, that's actually a violation. You don't share things that are, hey, here's why, here's how. That's a whole separate issue. So I agree, information that we have should be shared before the meeting so no one's surprised. But that goes for everybody, okay?
I agree.
Okay, but now, well, to Bill, just to hold on a second. We had discussed at the last meeting about several of these additions that we
Yeah.
want to put them in here. So I don't think this is blindsiding.
No.
We talked about doing cost breakdowns, et cetera, which is why we were having this.
I told you we
follow-up
were meeting with
today.
Waterworth and getting the tiers.
So-
Absolutely, I totally agree with it, and that's in here somewhere, okay? And we had two things we took away. You were gonna talk with them about getting these tiers so people know exactly what, or almost exactly what they would have to pay. And I would go away and work on that slide that we debated back and forth, which I had to totally get it out, and I couldn't make it, wasn't getting twisted around like a pretzel to try to fit what we were saying and into that same format. And so I replaced it with another slide, which I don't see in here.
So why don't we go back to the first one, go back to the dates. What would you guys like to put for the dates? Do you want to go back to the original one that we had on there?
I don't have a problem with the old dates, because with Bill, I agree that they will change.
So what did we have?
But they're anticipated to change.
27,
As
31.
is and I don't have a problem with putting 20 parts per trillion, but in red, the same way as here.
So you
it
want
is-
27
it is
and
supposed-
31.
You know, it is almost automatic that we have to follow EPA, and EPA is at 4.
Right, and Massachusetts is not at 4 right now because they asked for an extension.
Sure.
Otherwise, if they didn't ask for an extension, we're at 4 parts per trillion.
So, and I feel like this is an issue of contention because it kind of goes back and forth, even though the fact is that in April of '24, the EPA put out these mandate guidelines for PFAS. okay?
Regulations.
Okay, regulations, correct, thank you. And when they did that, they said to the states, you have 2 years to write your laws and comply with this or more stringent, okay? Now, Massachusetts has yet to do that, okay? They are still writing it or whatever, in that, you know, so I just, when it keeps saying 20, and yes, that current, as of today, it's 20, but as a water department, we have been told by everybody under the
Everybody.
sun that you need to be start your preparation on how you're planning to be in compliance with this 4 parts. And as a water department and a board, we're doing our due diligence to do that. So I feel like this comes up like we're just making stuff up that we, you know, like, oh, it's not. We have been instructed, as we should, to get our game plan together of how we're going to enforce and be able to use our water at 4 parts or less.
I mean, what do we just put, at 20 parts per million, likely to go to 4, at 2 years, likely to go to, now 2029, likely to go to 2031. I think both of those statements are
We can do
true.
that. Sure.
All right.
And we had a hearing with DEP, this was quite a while ago, and they mentioned that if you're above 2 parts per trillion, you should start looking for doing treatment down the road.
Okay.
So many benchmarks, I think we're kind of, I don't wanna go too far with it. But it says it right here without even saying it, meet requirements for water quality determined by the EPA and DEP. Why do we even
Yeah,
have to
that's
say
fine.
4 parts, 20 parts, it doesn't matter, we need to meet the requirements.
Yeah, but the point is, we do meet it now. This is all about putting a whole new treatment plan in.
Let's step it a little
So,
The manganese, we have to do a treatment of manganese.
Yeah.
So we're building a treatment plant.
Yeah.
Whether PFAS goes or not, we are building a treatment plant. Everybody in this, hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
We're building a treatment
Yeah.
plant. Do it now, do it later, the longer you wait, it's gonna cost more money.
yeah.
So whatever you wanna do,
DEP would never let you just build a treatment plant just to remove iron and manganese just
Without-
because, without PFAS removal.
no, in PFAS, they want at 0.
Yeah.
Showing harmful effects to humans at 0.2. So if you
Alright,
have
so
more
we're
than
good.
0, you're not healthy water.
Okay.
So back to, we can agree, we're going to have to build a treatment plan, or do you not think we're gonna have to build a treatment plan?
You talking PFAS or manganese? It sounds like manganese is what they
Manganese.
have to build.
A treatment plan.
A treatment, manganese for sure. It sounds, based on, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I believe what you're
Yep.
saying is
She
true.
told me it was coming with the
Yeah.
sanitary survey.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to extend this meeting like 10 o'clock tonight, but things just keep popping into my head. I'm just so anal about having things on paper,
Yeah.
and so I don't do well with phone calls. I
understand.
really don't
Oh, no,
do well
she's
with
sitting
phone
here,
calls.
she said it right here. so.
Well, even if she was sitting here, or whoever she is, I don't do well with that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I understand what you're saying,
I
and that's
understand.
a path we're going down, but I just,
So we'll get this, she was hoping to get the sanitary survey before this meeting,
Oh, okay.
but it takes them a long time. They go through every little nitpick, so she won't have it. So you won't have it in writing before this meeting, so. But I understand exactly what you're saying.
Bill, while I might make jest, by all means,
like, what?
voice your opinion, it's why you're here. Like, you know, I don't want a 10 o'clock meeting either, but if that's what we have to have, I'll yell at Mr. Bursch for making
Okay, so
it
we'll
this
tweak
week.
up the first page.
Yep, I got
I know,
that.
I sense that you'd like to get the meeting.
Oh, I like to
moving,
be
so-
efficient. I do like him being efficient. That's-
Well, I got one in here.
No, we only
That was
tweaked the
Bursch's drawing.
Oh,
sentence.
you want me to change that one too?
No, it
Send
just
the book.
says central water, that's all it says,
Oh,
it's Lancaster Ave
okay.
Central Water Treatment Plant.
Like I said before, I like Mark's arrows better. The crayon. So this was from the survey, so we just took the only piece out of the survey,
Yep.
and it was only for the residents that did the survey, that they support treating all 3 sources.
I'm sorry for laughing, but there's a thing when you do graphs and bar graphs and things like that, about making your point stronger, is that you don't, like, 0 to a 70%. It's not 0 to 100% because 0 to, when you put 60, what is it, 63%? But if you terminate the x-axis very close
Oh, I
to
got you,
it.
so you show 100, so.
I just laugh because this takes me back historically to some things that happen when people are trying to make a point with me.
I
And I'll tell
didn't
you,
make this.
If you want to even make less of a point, you can put it on a log graph, on a log chart. And then everything shrinks, it doesn't look, they look the same, it's just little things like that.
But
I'm
keep
sorry,
saying-
I didn't want to divert it, sorry. But that was-
63% of the people said that they support all.
Is this fine, because this is comparing the three, so even if we had to
Yeah,
space out to
yeah.
here, which I get, I don't really think it would make a difference, right?
The only comment I had about, and I saw that, I went through the survey, is that when people, when they preferred the 3 wells, they don't know what we know. You know, all of the information behind a 3-well solution is very complicated. We go through it all the time with respect to costs primarily, with respect, and operating costs. And they said, yeah, I'd rather have 3 wells, because 3 sounds like, well, gee, that's an extra well, you know? It seems like we have more redundancy or something like that. So, I understand what they said here, I understand it, but I just don't think that residents who are clued into everything that we are clued into about the issues surrounding each of these,
Well, I left one out, the hardness, that was pretty clear that they all have issues with the hardness.
well,
There was only like, what, 4% that didn't have an issue with that, so to me,
no.
yes, so to me, the cheapest solution for the water for Lunenburg is to limit the use of the heating well. That to me is the best, because we can't control the hardness.
So,
Well, another way to look at it versus limiting, you're diluting the hardness by utilization of the other 2 sources if you put it all online.
gentlemen, we're gonna stay on point, and we're on this,
Gotcha.
okay? Are you okay with this page, sir?
So we can tweak it if you want. I don't, I didn't
Do you have
make
the
it.
survey in there? I
Not
didn't
the
bring
ones
it.
of all those, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's just the words that go with it, I just would want to qualify the words that go with it.
Okay,
So this was
I
the
mean,
page that you already had on there.
What I was just saying, is like, yeah, 63% want this solution. They want 3 wells, but do they want that solution? It's more complicated to say, I want 3
Look
wells.
at this,
That's-
I agree, that's very complicated what we do,
Yeah.
but this was sent out to the public for their input. Not everybody spends their winters in Florida cranking through the water pumps, Bill, I'm just saying, you know? So we're going to see what people want.
And that's why they don't understand a vote for 3 wells, what it means.
Well, okay.
okay,
Moving
so
on.
next page is just going over the loan, so this is what is the article that was approved at the warrant, $41 million loan, 2.2%,
Do we want to add the point,
1.5. We could,
just, I mean, just in parentheses, .15 admin or something like that?
and then there's just what's the earmark for, the Hickory Hills and Lancaster Drive wells, and to construct an iron and manganese and PFAS water treatment plant. And then also that this vote is to also do the interconnecting main to keep. And then if it passes the time, so this will probably go back and change the dates on this one as well. This is the one Lou mentioned. So we can change to October, well, actually,
No,
no,
this
these
is,
are all
these
be
are
These are
right.
right, yeah.
Yeah, these are right.
October 26th, so if it's a yes vote, the engineers are gonna start hammering this out quickly to get it ready for the October.
Mhm.
And then the February design, March up for bids, contracts awarded by June, and then this is estimated, you know, they said 2 or more years, but construction, you know, if we go out the bid, when's the contract actually begin, so we didn't really know what to put for a number there. We would get 2, and then like, well, it could be a little over, so we did 2.5 years, so.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Sir? Mr. Johnson?
Which
I
puts
think
it
that's my time
beyond,
to-
beyond current standards, but acceptable if they extend it.
Correct. Yeah, so we'll be in pretty close to 2030, right before. So then we get one over the rates. So we, this is for both, the
Yep.
SRF funding and the interconnecting main to keep these. So this is for both of them. So we did a comparison of the current rates to the 41 million SRF and the $6 million bond. So we did a comparison, minimum user, the average household, 2,000 cubic feet, and then the high-end user, 5,000 cubic feet.
Okay, could you walk us through this? I don't know.
Yep, so, yeah, so on the left side, the current rates, that's our current rate structure,
Right.
yep, top. And then on the right would be what they're proposing for a new rate.
So someone who's paying $75, this is a quarter, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Quarterly,
We'll be-
but
we'll be
the next
paying-
page is monthly, just so you know.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, there's another one
Yes,
monthly.
yep, that's exactly what you're looking
Okay.
at.
This
Yep,
is current,
Well, now you're
now,
playing-
this is the current structure.
$127.50 quarter.
yep.
So if I multiply the tier one, or wherever it's $75, or wherever it's the number of people paying $75, I wanna make sure that this is, number of people paying $75, I multiply that number times the 127. And then these additional ones, the number in each tier, times whatever this rate is, it comes out to the number we were talking about last week.
What,
For-
oh, the 800 number,
Whatever-
yeah, the
whatever,
number
yeah,
that you
something
had,
like-
830, yes,
Yeah, for the whole year,
yes,
it does that.
yes, yes. Because, yes, it came out very close, because it depends if you go quarterly or monthly, like Fran and I were running numbers,
So we did two here, so this first page is quarterly, so we kept the billing process exactly as it is now.
We've been,
This is what
we've been talking, Fran has been talking over time, and Christie's been talking over time, that the thought for the future may be to go to monthly billing. We've been discussing it, but currently, everything is done quarterly, so every 3 months, a bill is sent out. So this is based on our current billing structure, and they wanted to show an option if we did go to monthly, because a lot of people, some people like
Yeah,
to bill their
that's-
finances monthly
Some
versus
people.
quarterly.
Some people.
Yeah, some people. I'm not one of those people, I love the quarterly bill, but
I think this middle one is just way too much information. I mean,
The tiers?
No, not so much per gallon, or what's CCF?
Yeah, that's the,
Cubic feet.
Cubic feet? No.
Yeah, that's the
Nobody-
tiers.
Nobody's gonna look at all of that. I mean, you can make, the
So-
big one is the one at the top, I would make that even a little bit bigger.
okay,
So it's,
from
and
current,
stand alone,
to that,
because
get
now
rid
they
of-
see what they would end up
I
paying.
mean, I guess it's not, because,
I disagree completely. Just so you know, like, that's the first thing I looked at them, and I'm like, oh, all right, yeah. I mean, and I'm not trying to be difficult or anything, but like, to me, I like those numbers. I'm like, it ties in mentally to what my house usage is. I'm like, oh, okay, like, the cubic foot rate. That's just me, though. I
the
can
only
take-
thing that we had a lot of residents talk, or had brought up was, well, the tiers, it's not gonna be a flat rate, like the Mass Ave
Right.
water main was, it's a flat $15. We weren't gonna say, hey, this is what our loan is divided, and everybody pays the same.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to show that as people who irrigate and use 5,000 plus, and in that tier, they're going to pay more.
No, I
So-
understand, I'm just saying, I think what they want to see is, what's my new rate gonna be?
So
It
it
just,
Yeah, so
Chris-
that's what those tiers are.
I know, but this is by, per cubic feet, I don't know how many cubic feet I use, but if there
it's
is,
on your bill.
so jump into, looks like it's this one here?
Yeah.
This one. The
5,000,
one down here at the bottom
5,000
is
cubic feet. yeah.
more, and the one at the top looks like it's more instructive. Because you have minimum user, average user, and hey, how much, I'm one of these,
Right.
and now is what I pay, they know what they pay, and they look down, this is what I'm gonna pay. I'm just saying that middle part is just too,
It could cause confusion.
Yeah, I mean, why
we see it, we know it,
I
but-
agree with you, Bill.
that's what they want.
But some people might want that information, and then when you do the
It's-
presentation, you can kind of, because some people, like,
When we.
dial
present.
in exact, might want to know exactly what that information is and where it comes from.
I think we added it just because we did have residents question to make sure that we were going to make the higher users pay
Yeah,
more.
to tier this up.
So we just wanted to prove that that's what we're.
That's not a big point, I just thought it was too busy.
But that does, as you just said, it does clearly show
Show
that the
in
more
that.
you use, the more you pay.
Right.
Yeah,
So that, for some, that could help them, understand.
Are you okay with that page?
I don't know, this is,
Mr.
Okay, so
Perry?
that,
I'm fine.
All right.
okay, so next page is the same information, just on the monthly. So it's just broke down, divided by 3. If you do the math, though, it's not no,
No,
because
3.
it's quarterly, so.
we're going from quarterly to
Oh,
monthly,
no.
so this was every 3 months
Trying
is
to do
what your
quick
bill
math, I'm
was.
sorry.
This would be what you
So-
would get every month.
So we ran all the numbers like, well, these are wrong, so we ran all the numbers again, and they don't always work out. You can't just take the numbers from the first page and divide it by 3, because they're going by the elevated usage numbers for the different blocks. So when you do the monthly, they hit them differently.
Yeah.
So we ran them, because we didn't agree with them, we ran them and confirmed these are all accurate.
This is good, but we don't currently use this structure. So I don't know if I put a lot of emphasis on this.
Yeah,
The monthly,
yeah.
We don't currently, if somebody wants to know.
What if we did it what if we did it, what if we simplified it on this page? It only kept the quarterly page, got rid of all of this and simplified it and said, you know, like minimum,
To me-
like a small box.
We at the
underneath.
end say, hey, we included this, should we ever go monthly? But I don't think it should be a part of the main body of the report, because
Okay.
I feel like,
currently.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right by
Structure.
3. It's, yeah, why don't you just get rid of this one?
get rid of the whole
Yeah.
monthly?
I think so too. It just,
Well-
it adds a little bit of level of confusion to something that's already, you know, I don't think it's, I appreciate you doing it, but I just don't think it needs to be in there.
All right,
So
so
we'll
then we'll
just
get
keep
rid
it
of
on
the
the
other one.
side. If someone asks.
Yeah, if
then
someone
we'll just
asks, you can
bury
throw it out there,
Yeah.
but I just, there's a
Alright,
lot
so
of,
that
there's a
one's
lot of.
appreciate all the work that went into it, and I know you guys, where your thought was.
Right.
That monthly is a way that we're thinking of going in the future. I just, a little too much. See, look at, see?
That
Yeah.
was easy.
Can I do that too?
So then the
Yeah, I
next,
like it.
so then the next 2 goes from the quarterly to monthly, so let's get rid of the second monthly as well
Sure.
then, so I'll cross that
So
one,
what's
but
the
yes, so
difference
then,
between the
So
one
the
quarterly
next-
and the other quarter?
the first one
This
is,
one is comparing the SRF and bond to just bond. So that really doesn't, that's not our focus here. That's more so just to show people it's gonna cost more. I mean, we could easily toss that one out as well. And this one, the same thing, we have a quarterly and then we broke it down to a monthly. So the monthly's definitely gone.
Monthly.
The quarterly, I don't know if you even wanna show that, what it is, cause
well, I mean, we could do it, we could do not as big a slide, we could, you know, put it together, not the same thing, but just saying, you know,
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
if we go from the SRF to the bond, you're looking at roughly these differences.
Right.
I think since they're gonna make one vote on one amount, and that one amount is SRF plus a bond, I think the only one that we should be putting in here is the one, the quarterly, where is it?
Yeah.
Quarterly for the 47 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wherever it is.
I agree.
One slide, the whole picture is right there.
Once again, good work though. but,
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
I would hold on to it, because
Oh, yeah.
it's
I would hold on
information
to
that
it,
people may
Yeah.
ask.
you know,
Yep,
So on those calculations, that Waterworth people, they did a whole
they were amazing.
20
Oh, I sent it
pages
to you guys.
presentation.
Yeah,
So, and they are willing to come and present it to you if anybody wants to see it. It had the very good, the money in the bank, maintaining a specific revenue, the rate,
yeah, they,
the rate increase showing that the loan came in and the payments, it was,
yeah,
it's pretty intense. I mean,
Yep.
They did a great job, and they're very quick. I mean,
Um,
we were talking Monday, they called Tuesday.
Yep.
Figure it out.
Okay, I think I'm misinterpreting this one that says comparison quarterly billing.
I thought you said just to take that out.
No, I think the only one we should be presenting is the
Is
one
that
that's for $47 million.
Yeah,
correct. With the SRF.
SRF
Yeah.
plus the 4.5 or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yep.
And so then I look down here and I'm trying to understand,
so I thought we just agreed to
Yeah,
take that one
we're taking
out.
that right out.
oh, I thought this is the one,
No,
No,
No.
but if you have,
the comparison
answer
monthly
some-
billing,
You
one
ripped the
that you're
wrong one
looking
out.
at?
Did I rip the wrong one?
I don't, rip the monthly
no,
out,
I got the
rip
monthly.
that one out too.
And there's-
And
And
there's
the only
another
one,
after
the only one that is left is the water treatment, 41 million SRF, 6 million bond quarterly.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
All the other ones
that's
are
the one I
going
was
out.
just looking at.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's,
Yeah, that's the one I was just looking at, this
no,
one.
no,
This is not it.
no.
You're
Go-
looking
go
at a
back.
comparison one.
Go, you gotta go backwards, I believe.
it'd be the very first.
Oh, this one.
That's the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just
So,
that one.
so now I'm a water taker and I wanna know, okay, how much more is it going to cost me quarterly with what I'm voting on? And where do I find that?
At the bottom.
There you go.
So it's gonna cost me for the average house, it'll cost me $123 per quarter more.
No. Oh, we're for.
Oh, if
for
you're using
2,000, for
2,000, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
average household.
Yep.
Okay.
So then rip that page out.
I'm gonna rip the next, I'm ripping the next two out.
Yep.
See, it's
Okay.
a delete button right there. Okay. Are we going back to
So
this
four-
page?
4 times, so that's
Oh, I thought you guys were, oh,
$500
wait.
more a year, a quarter, a year.
I'm okay on the quarterly page.
Yeah. I thought we decided we were good on that. We
Are
going
we-
back to it?
Yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find it.
Now,
Oh,
Alright, so this is one bill, we switched this one way up from what you had for the no vote.
Time bounds.
There's a little bit of everybody kind of.
And this is always the one that we end up spending an inordinate amount of time on, so we probably will again.
So this one is pretty basic, I mean, this is our second time going for the funding. If it gets voted down, there's no guarantee we'll get it again next year. And I think, we didn't go into a whole lot of details, but I think 4 parts per trillion comes out, there's many more municipal public water supplies that are gonna be going after that money. So I think it's gonna be very much more difficult.
Could we go through each of the bullets?
Sure.
Okay, so what happens if there's a no vote? This will be the second time the water district forfeits SRF funding. No guarantee that we will be eligible in the future for low-interest funding. Second bullet, we do not intend on applying for SRF in 2026.
We switched that to intend because if this
We
gets
don't
voted
know.
down to, we don't know
Well,
what you guys are gonna do.
right.
I had on here, we're not gonna apply for
Right.
that.
well, we don't, I'd like to leave it open-ended. Because
Sure.
who knows what could happen after this meeting that may spur us to wanna reapply.
By July.
Who
By
knows?
July, right, it would have to be like a lickety split.
Who knows?
Make it think.
I don't know, I
But
guess, I don't have any problem with saying we do not intend, because I don't know.
I don't- I
If some
don't-
law comes out, a DEP drops, a Massachusetts drops, I don't know, right? But
Okay.
we realize that it's almost impossible for us to do, but
Okay.
Well,
we do not
now
intend.
now that the pilot testing is done for Keys, and then we could do a submittal for all 3. Or you could do one without Hickory Hills, but you're not gonna get any funding if you don't have that funding.
And these are the kind of things we would talk about.
After.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, third bullet.
All right, so are we good on the first two? I just want
Yeah,
to check these
yeah,
off.
that's- yeah.
Mark, you good with the
Yeah.
first
Yep.
two? Okay.
So,
I may want to embellish this a little bit,
Well,
but,
no.
no, I just want to make sure that these are, that
But
we agree on each of these.
1 and 2 is good, we'll go to 3.
Mass DEP will be issuing the need for the district to submit a corrective action plan to address the elevated levels of iron and manganese. What does that have to do with this vote?
mostly if we do know, we're building a treatment plant anyway.
So maybe that's where we needed to
Yeah,
tie
that
that
should
So
back
we,
into
well,
it.
we could take this out, because like you said, you don't, you want it in writing, you know, so.
We understand what's going on here, but you would put this out there, iron and manganese, what, I thought this was PFAS. I mean, I'm thinking of clarity for the people in the audience. I'm not sure what actually what to read into this regarding the vote.
I understand where you're coming from, Fran, like, in looking at the big picture here. And I know why you want this in here, but I tend to kind of still just want to compartmentalize this to
Okay.
PFAS treatment,
Focus.
you know what I'm saying? That's the focus of this. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that, so I think maybe we should take that out, because
problem.
it may have some shoots to
If-
people, you know what I'm
If
saying?
anything, one of the positives, and I don't know where we put it in here, one of the positives to treating PFAS is we're going to get SRF funding to also treat iron and manganese, which is probably going to come down in the future,
Right.
where we have to treat it.
Right. Once again,
That's only a
It's-
plus,
I-
it's not a,
You'll see in the next page, we can address it again, so
Yeah.
get rid of it on this
but
page.
yeah, that's,
We can give,
okay.
yeah, we probably.
Yeah, when we get to that page,
too.
Yeah.
then you can decide, but on
So,
this page,
bullet
get rid
point
of
three
that.
is
So, yeah, when Massachusetts adopts EPA's MCL 4 parts per trillion for PFAS, many more public water supplies will be eligible for funding, making, okay, no, that's true, absolutely true. The next statement, making low-interest loans much more difficult to obtain. So right now, they're limited, they can't fund all the SRF.
Sure.
Okay, there's, in fact, that hearing, I remember people saying, please give me money. So if they drop this from 20 down to 4, there's gonna be a lot more, to your point, a lot more people asking for money.
Right.
I personally think if they put that mandate out there, they're gonna have to put some more money on it.
Nice.
They're gonna have to do it.
But
It's
there-
just absolutely insane if they don't do
There
that.
isn't any right now, so it's tough to really kind of speak to the facts on, that's kind of
Well-
a, yes, I would agree with you that I would hope that they
Sure,
would do
maybe
it.
that's the way.
But there's nothing that says they're gonna.
No, there's nothing that's.
And historically, it's getting hard, everything's going up. It's on an upward trend on costs and less availability on things that are going to assist us. So,
And then there is still, we never talk about it, there is still principal forgiveness as part of this SRF funding. They don't come out and say the exact number.
Right.
I mean,
That's what's
Townsend
tough.
was
We-
like 25-30%, a lot of
Yeah.
them are huge.
Littleton was 20%. and that was-
So, I mean, that was the money coming from the government. So this was the last year of the government infrastructure money going out, so that's kind of one of my incentives of doing this thing.
and I think there might be more, I don't know.
We did the emergency
Well, so, all
grant.
right, focusing on here. Making low-interest loans much more difficult. Do you not like that line, or do you think it's misleading, or?
It may, that's,
What if
So you wanna
change
say-
it to
only
the
only
historic-
because I
What if
just
you
can't
said
see them not
historical?
funding this thing, I mean,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Once again, geez, I hope they do. Do you wanna say it may make making low?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think
Or you could
that's
say
what it is.
historically, we've seen rates go from
I think we
0
should
to
say
2.
it may
It may.
make low-interest loans.
Now, what I'd personally like to do is overlap this with what I had for the no vote and see if we could.
Sure.
Sure.
So I think we've had the same things that some of them, not apply for the SRF in 2026. The final Mass DEP PFAS MCL will be determined. I don't know, other than that very first slide is where that's even discussed. But if we put that parenthetical comment up here, along with this one at the bottom, currently at 20, but likely moving to 4, then I think then people would know that that's probably gonna be determined for sure this
So
coming
changing
year.
that to
Yeah.
if Massachusetts is
Yeah.
currently at
Like,
20
that's true if it's a yes or a no.
and will adopt EPA's 4 parts per trillion, is that something?
Yeah, Mass now at 20, likely to go to 4.
Well, not likely, they have to.
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
So
We're gonna
Massachusetts
talk, we're
currently,
gonna talk about that, because I do
So-
have something to say about
so you wanted Massachusetts currently at 20,
20.
13.
Where are we
Likely
putting
to-
that? I don't have a
Well,
copy in front of me, so
like
I
first
don't know
page.
what so we're gonna take, what
Hold
you
on.
guys over
That's
there?
red.
I sent this to you.
Come on.
I sent this to
And
you.
then you gotta-
Well, that
you
was
gotta-
the one
you
from,
gotta
I think,
read your
two
emails.
ago, right?
Yeah,
From
I
last
just-
meeting.
I just cleaned up I had it in my, yeah.
The American Water AWWA litigation will be over. And that, I think, is significant, and that's the thing I wanted to talk about, because there was some confusion over this. And I think it's critical, and I think it addresses whether we go to 4. And I'll explain why.
Well, why don't we, should we
Want me to
just,
jump into
I think we
that?
should just do that now. That's okay with it.
Time out, so I get the here. So, we all, this is gonna take 5 minutes or so. So we all know EPA, put out these regulations, I actually think it was in 23. And these regulations, there are 3 parts of these regulations that are relevant to what we're discussing now. One was the extension for about 2 years, from 29 to 31. Another one was this, I call them the group of 4. These, that the EPA put together and established regulations on that group of 4.
You're talking like the PFOA.
PFA this, PFA that, all these different ones. Yes, so, and they put that in there. And the third one, which is really critical to what we're talking about, is the regulations on PFA-A and PFA-S, call them A and S. Okay, they put them in as 4. This outfit, by the way, were we a member of the American Water Works Association?
I don't think we're with American, we're with
New
MAP
England
and
Water Works,
New
which is
England.
tied to the American Water Works. So
Yeah.
if you apply for New England, you're part of the Americans, they were.
Oh, so, okay,
a
so
joint-
that's good. So then in April of of '24, they came out with a lawsuit against the EPA that challenged that group of four, and they challenged the PFA A and O going to 4. And they were the big challenges, those two. And they challenged it based on process that EPA used, and they challenged it because of cost, which is also a consideration that EPA has to use. Then in September of, where the heck did I put it? Oh, it's here, of 2025, EPA basically caved in. I mean, maybe caved in's wrong, but they agreed with the petitioner's position on the group of 4. And so they said, I'm rescinding that altogether. They admitted that this is not.
The EPA rescinded it?
The EPA, yeah, and opposite. EPA agrees with petitioners that parts of the rulemaking, it's a process-related thing, the way they did it, were actually unlawful, and parts of the rule are thus invalid. So they agreed with that, and they also extended the 29 to 31. So they said, okay, so now we fast forward to what the clerk last week handed out. And you position this as, this is saying that the lawsuit is no longer going to deal with A and S. But what this is the Office of,
People and peoples.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, so A, I'm sorry.
what this is not that statement. What this is just an announcement, a memo from AWWA saying that the OMB, which is the Office of Management and Budget, which apparently when an agency changes a regulation, they have to go to these guys to say, is it okay? And then they say, it's okay. So what they did, and I'll read this, it says, extend PFA A and PFA S maximum contaminant levels compliance deadlines by 2 years. So this was had nothing to do with agreeing with their A and S. What this is says, we agree with the extension of 2 years. And then the second one is basically agreeing with EPA when they caved on the group of 4. They said, it's okay, you can do that. So that's what this is. Now, what else is going on? This is the EPA stuff is like on this side of the wall, and then the litigation's on this side of the wall. And they meaning the EPA and the AWWA, just last month put in their final brief. They put the final brief in, and I just want to read a couple of just quick things that they said.
I would disagree to quick things unless you're gonna read the article in its entirety, because something might be left out.
Let me have the floor, okay?
I'm just saying, a lot of people like to read like a little sentence of a greater report to fit their needs. And I would definitely love to
If you-
get a copy of that after the meeting so I can read it.
If
in
you
its
let me
entirety.
read, you can pass your opinion on after I read it. This is number 4. So the EPA is challenging the 4.0 for the A and the S based on, on cost and the process, both things.
The EPA is?
Did I say that?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
AWWA, so many initials.
Thank you.
So it says EPA's defective analysis drastically underestimated the rule's costs. Even EPA's own erroneous analysis demonstrates that it should have set the levels for PFA A and PFA S at 10 parts per trillion rather than 4 parts per trillion. This is in their final brief last month, and the oral arguments for this, I think, are scheduled for this summer. So this should all be finished by the end of the summer. And similarly, down here, they make a similar argument, this one primarily based on the cost. It would be going from 10 down to 4, and a difference of, I don't know, it's $1.5 billion. So they're making the argument, you didn't do it right, just like they did with the group of 4, and they're making the argument, you didn't even look at how much it's gonna cost people. So, now, if you read these briefs, and by the way, I have them if you want them, but I don't suggest it. I mean, they are painful. They're really painful. The one is over 150 pages long. I mean, it's torturous. So, I mean, lawyers might enjoy this. But anyway, I do have them, and if you read this one, wow, that's pretty, wow, that sounds pretty darn convincing. And you go over here and you read this, oh shit, this one sounds pretty darn convincing. So who knows how that's gonna end up? I have no idea. So what's the importance to us? What's important to us is that it comes back at 10. Holy cow, we don't have to put the PFAS in, the PFAS treatment in. do not have to do that. But even if it doesn't come in at 10, the 4 opens up the possibility for, yes, the money will probably be less, but opens up the possibility of including Lancaster and Keating for an SRF request. So the ruling in that regard for the 4 is kind of independent of this, because if they lose, it'll be 4, okay?
Right.
See,
So,
I think
but-
that's a tough part, it's like you said, everybody can read everything, because the last thing I printed from the Association of the State of Drinking Water says, the motion states that now, after further reviewing the statute pursuant to a publicly announced reconsideration process, EPA agrees with the petitioners that part of the rulemaking process were unlawful, and parts of the rules are thus invalid. This is because EPA departed from the statutory scheme by proposing and finalizing a regulatory determination and regulation simultaneously and in tandem. However, this is not applicable to the MCLs for PFOA and PFOS in the rule, which EPA intends to keep and defend.
Christie.
So I'm just
That's-
saying, like, you read something,
No, no,
and now you read
what you
something.
said is absolutely
Yeah.
true. That's the EPA's position.
I know, so
There's a lawsuit over here.
I
It's a-
understand that, but if
It's
you're.
challenging that position.
But
Because I know
but if
the
you-
EPA's position, they haven't moved from the 4.
But if you're, okay,
I'm talking about the lawsuit and only the lawsuit. That's the only thing that I'm
yeah, that's what I
talking-
was, yes, I know, I'm talking. I don't argue, go ahead.
No, I don't want to, it's not arguing, I just want to make sure we're all
Well, my
seeing
point
from
was
the
that you
same.
can read one thing, I can read one thing, it's
No,
everybody's perspective for
I
different
read
things,
exactly
so
what you read.
Okay.
I read exactly the same thing. EPA's got their heels dug in on this, no question. They didn't move on that. When they caved in on the group of 4, they didn't cave in on the 4 parts per trillion.
Right.
They just, they're there. They're not gonna move. Thus, that's called litigation. These guys over here, our guys, AWWA, so to speak, they're saying, no, this isn't right. You didn't do it right, and you didn't think of what's gonna cost the water takers. That's the issue, and that's the only thing I'm talking about, is that lawsuit.
Right, so they're basing the lawsuit on cost. not-
Cost and process.
Not on the hazardous health effects of PFAS in the water. So you're
Actually,
okay with drinking contaminated water?
okay, so let me go back with, if you read the lawsuit, all kind of medical information is there.
I agree.
Okay, this study, that study versus this study and that study, and quite honestly, that is part of it, but they're not making their argument based on that. But they are debating and challenging some of the results of the medical findings. So there is even that part in there, and I'll send it to you if you want to read it.
Yeah.
But,
But there's no treatment to treat PFAS down to a lower level. The only treatment eradicates PFAS from the water, correct?
True.
So even if they set a higher level, like 10 parts, I understand what you're saying, we're not, now that we can just kind of sit and ride this thing out,
But you kind of get.
but it doesn't change, you know,
We keep track of it, and I can give this to you if you want to see it, or keep it. But Keating's, PFAS, if I have a high of 9.35, P4 5.6, so I mean, we're past the halfway point if it does go to 10. Usually, they start getting concerned. Well number 5 fails, well number 1 fails, well number 1.
when you say what, well, number 1 fails, we mean.
P4, 4.9, oh yeah, that one hit the
Yeah,
10s.
yeah.
but the superintendent did say earlier that they're already talking to us that we need to have a plan. If we were showing levels of 2 parts per million, that DEP already wants us to start considering what we're gonna do for the future. So I understand the information that you're giving out. I don't think it's going to change what we're going to have to do for the future.
Well, I think
Well,
it comes back to what you were saying too, Bill, like you said at the beginning, you wanted the dates that were now. You wanted in this part for it to say, well, currently it's at 20. Well, what we know right now is EPA's at 4. So if you want to sit here and say that all these other details need to be exactly what we're at right now, then we need to follow through with that for EPA. EPA is 4 right now, so we can't hypothesize what's gonna happen with this. Like you're saying that we can't put, when Massachusetts, you want us to put Massachusetts currently is at 20, because you want it what it's right now. Well, right now, EPA is at 4, so we can't, all the other points you were saying that you wanted it for today,
No, I-
But by you putting in AWJA stuff, you're hypothesizing what it could change. So it kinda,
No, I think you're
Because it
mixing
hasn't changed.
apples and oranges. I'm here talking about what happens if there's a no vote and how the litigation plays a role.
but that we
It
don't
is.
know. So
And
you're
we
talking about
don't
things
know.
that
We
we know
don't
right
know.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's your point, you want things in this of what is right now.
What is right now is litigation.
But we
That's-
don't
Okay.
know what the answer is.
Sure, you know what, so you wanna put it in AWWA, litigation will be over, you want that in this no thing?
Okay, so,
'Cause that's what we're
I mean,
really
you only-
working on.
it's either no or yes, but it only becomes relevant if it's no. You follow
Oh,
me?
sure,
Yeah.
I got you,
Okay.
so I'm with you,
Yeah.
I have no problem putting
Yeah.
that line in the no. You know what I'm
Which one?
saying? AWWA litigation will be over, in other words, if, with the no vote,
If you present it the way you present it, that, to me, it sways people to vote no, because this could actually be a possibility.
And you know, it's not my intention, just like I pointed out earlier when you were putting the proposal for trying to sell this, remember, I objected to that? I'm not trying to sell it in
We're not
any
trying
other
to- we're
way.
not trying
no,
to-
that's a bad word, we didn't say sell.
Well, the word no was sell,
Uh,
when I was notified about.
It was
what
gain
the-
public support, there was no
Oh,
sell.
there you go, right, gain
Oh,
public.
hold on,
No,
that's, we're not selling anything.
No,
We're
it
not
was,
selling.
it was, you're right. It
I
was-
look
it
at, I,
was gain
look
public
at, I
support.
feel this is, as us sitting
Yeah.
as commissioners here, is for us to put out the best information to the public.
That's
what I've
what I'm
always
looking
said.
for.
So,
That's what I'm looking
that, I do agree with you that I would put that in, and this is, I'm just part of the board here. But meaning that is a coin toss, we don't know, that's it, we're just awaiting litigation. So,
And the litigation doesn't change what they're saying about the hazard of this chemical in our water.
it,
No, no, no.
correct.
Well, it does actually, but they're not making the case on it, there's a whole lot in there. Again, I'll send it to you, if you wanna read it.
I get it, you tell me to drink gasoline,
Yeah.
whether it's this
Yeah.
much or this much, it's
All right.
still gasoline.
To keep things fluid and moving.
I'll add that one in there.
All right, I'd like to have that one
Litigation will
there.
be over.
Okay, all right.
I'm not for it, but I'm,
You're a team player, thanks,
I'm a
Mr.
team
Bursch.
player for it.
All right, keep going.
Then I have the fully tested heating adjunct wells. This is something I wanted to talk about separately as why we didn't write an article for that. And I don't know whether you wanna throw it in now or wait until later.
So, I can speak on it if you'd like. This had come up prior when we had done testing, and the reason why we basically never did it is because we don't know if this is gonna solve a problem at all. And that's why we didn't, even if we drill these, we don't know if this, like, I feel like if this did magically help, it's not gonna
It
work.
doesn't allow us to pump any more quantity of water out of that site.
Mhm.
So therefore, if it had maybe less PFAS in it,
So it's like, no, two parts per trillion.
so you're already meeting the MCL that they want us to start consider treating or having a plan for the future. So for the money spent, one of my vote on it was no, because it wasn't gonna have a significant impact on our supply.
So,
That's-
no. As we sit here and we do this, the whole reason why we're doing this is because we have all been in agreement, at some point in Lunenburg's water future, we will need a treatment plant to be compliant. We all have agreed on this on one level or not, okay? So, what we're trying to do here is basically get the best bang for the buck for the treatment plant. That's really, that is, and put this out to the public, and if the public says, no, I wanna wait, yes, I wanna do this right away, this is our job to put it out to. All these are other very hypothetical situations that I don't think apply to this. I'm not saying they're not valid, but to what we're trying to do here with this vote, getting basically the funding option to do this. At some point, somewhere, Lunenburg's water future involves a treatment plant, okay? Now, it's up to the public how they wanna deal with it. So, the Keating's well thing, I don't think should be in this, I don't think it's part of it, because it's completely side note that's not going to permanently solve the problem. That's why.
So, we do want to let the voters know what the options are, or what might be the case if they vote no. That's what we're talking about.
But it's not an option that's going to solve the problem.
Let me finish. You know, oftentimes, I've only been like, what, 4 meetings now, and it seems that we talk about something at one meeting, and like the next meeting, it's suddenly different, changed. If I can take you back to when this was discussed, this Keating well, it was agreed to, I wasn't on the board, but the other board agreed that you would allocate $30,000 for the full testing of this well, Franz well, at a future special meeting. That was an agreed to, and now I'm hearing, not only you don't want to put it on that, at that meeting, but now you're even debating whether you want to do it at all. So I'm a little bit confused by
There was a
that.
subsequent meeting, which you must not have watched or seen, that we discussed this in depth. And then at the end of that meeting, kind of came to the realization that this was not going to be a problem solver.
The word was temporary. I think you used that word. It looks like maybe something that we could use temporary.
Right, and
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
and that's
But
why-
it was that same meeting where you voted and agreed to $30,000. I remember that meeting.
No, it was a different
No.
meeting we had.
Oh, so after that you changed your mind?
Yeah, because I dug into it a little bit more and we discussed it again. And then at the second discussion we
I
had
don't think
on
all agreed. I think
We
you
didn't
were
all
Joe,
agree.
I think you were.
we didn't all
John was
agree,
again,
but
I don't know.
I needed to have a little more information and a discussion.
Well,
And we had it at a subsequent board meeting, which we decided not to move forward with that because it wasn't going to be a solution.
I remember the discussion about not being a long-term solution, how much more water you don't know and all that, but I do remember the vote for $30,000. I remember when now I was on the board, we talked about putting it on this upcoming special meeting, and I remember you were a stronger advocate of it than I was, actually, Fran. So if it was discussed to go on to that meeting then, why didn't you say, no, we voted it down? I'm really confused about this
Or it's a
$30,000.
meeting that you, I guess, didn't see, which I would have to go back and look on. But did have a pretty involved discussion about it, and we did, and re-voted to table it for now.
Table, what, so
We weren't
right now,
moving, the last discussion that we had on this, I believe we tabled doing anything with those adjunct wells.
wow, do we have any idea when that meeting was? Because I don't remember that. I was pretty good about watching the meetings or being here.
I
So
remember,
if the
'cause
board in
I
fact
remember we had a
decided,
pretty good discussion about it between me, yourself, and John was.
so if the board decided that to kill it, then there's nothing to talk about.
I don't think it was ever killed.
Killed, it was just
I-
Table.
tabled.
So my thing with the well is the PFAS came at a lower level than the actual well that's there now. And so
That's
my,
what got me excited, when I
so
remember
my-
being up the well with you.
right, yep, so my thinking was that if we go and do this further testing, we can pump it at a high capacity rate to verify if it's gonna, the PFAS is gonna stay low or they're gonna rise right back to the
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah,
And I know one of my main focus was to get a different water quality with not high
Yeah,
water
yeah,
and then
yeah.
PFAS too,
Well,
so.
this first, as I recall, these first discussions, again, before I was here, I remember the first discussions was a backup for Keating. I remember you guys talking about the casings, the well casings for Keating. What happens if they go south? You got nothing, that was started. I said, wow, that's a great idea, get that well in there. Then you ran the initial tests, and it was actually, when I was there, it was 1.7. I said, whoa, let's go for it. And then there was all this support for it, and now all of a sudden, there's no support for it. I mean, there's a table that's indefinite, so I'm really confused. Yeah, I'm confused. Again, if there was a vote to say, we're not moving forward with this, then the discussion's over.
Okay.
But,
All right, well, that discussion's over. We're gonna just try to wrap this puppy up. I'm not in favor of putting any of that fully to test the heating the junction wells on here.
Would you have a different perspective if in fact, maybe that meeting where you decided to table it was like a figment of your imagination or anything like that?
Definitely not. That was very much here.
Either way, it's not, it
It
was
was-
talked about,
It
there
was
was
talked about,
nothing,
right. It was-
there's no.
And in the long run, what we all decided, as I recall, and don't quote me on this, is like, it wasn't going to fix the problem. There was no way this would,
But again,
Well,
this is another hypothetical
this is-
thing,
right.
this is not a
Right.
thing that you guys have, I
It's-
remember
and
you
by
guys
all
saying.
means, it's something that, after this, we can revisit and go look at, but
So how about we consider another future special meeting? For maybe this and a
I
couple
think
other
we-
things, because
Sure.
to me, this
It's
one
not
was
gonna cost us
the-
$4,000 more, is it, to have this other special meeting?
Yep.
Just to post it and publicize, yeah, we won't do the postcards and stuff like that.
All right, so why am I interested in how this might affect people who are thinking about a no and that heating well? Well, first of all, the redundancy, the backup for the existing heating. And I know it takes time first I gotta get approval to connect this, so there's a backup for it. And these darn PFAS levels are so low on that. So, oh my gosh, it could make a huge difference if we start using that. And I don't know what the calcium looks like in that, if you had a test on that, on the hard
We just did
water.
our own little on-site test kit, I think they were around 180, where the Keating well
Oh,
is like 220, so
Oh, so it's not that much better, all right.
it's a little better.
All right. So I was thinking primarily, so that's how it would impact, say, gee, gosh, if we had that, it'd be nice to know when we, after the no vote, because we're assuming, after the no vote, it would be nice to know if, what we have there. And that's a good thing, it's a good thing to have that data. All right, so the other one was revise the process and initiate in 2027. So I think we all said probably will have to do something by July of 2027. And I said July because of the SRF
Correct.
deadline. So what are the, then I went down, because you and I were going back and forth.
So
on
you want to put
risks.
this, to revise the process
That
and
we
initiate
have option to
20?
revise
Yeah.
process and reapply.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
right. And we're gonna have to do something, right, you know, so,
Yeah, because we
Yep.
just modify the second vote.
Yep,
sure.
So then we're going back and
Okay.
forth about risks, and I think I captured all your risks here. So if you say no, the risk, inflation, that's not much of a risk, that's pretty much a fact of life. Less SRF money available. If we say no, lower priority on the SRF, these are all possibilities, okay? You notice I didn't put any question marks even after, but these are all possibilities, but not necessarily facts.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. I traded your question mark for my question mark.
You go on.
Possible higher interest rate, tighter timetable, simply because it's a year later, but I think we still would fit into that 31 timetable. And then, okay, so that's a risk side. And the other side, what are the opportunities? Opportunity, I talked about this, possibly expand the SRF, not possibly, will expand it, regardless of how that litigation turns out, whether win or lose by the AWWA, it's going to make Keating and Lancaster will be eligible. Keating and Lancaster may not need PFAS treatment, if it's 10, that's that litigation thing. And we'll have the data from the adjunct wells, but I guess we're not gonna have the data from the adjunct wells if you guys had killed it.
I think there's
And
I think there's a lot there, and you're saying, we're saying one thing and then the other thing. So you're saying, it seems like we're just back and forth talking on that. I don't.
what, Mark?
All of that, you have, you say at one point we have less SRF available, but then we're gonna expand. I think it's a lot of confusing information that probably doesn't need to be out there.
This is a presentation, this is a slide, and whoever's giving this slide will expand the SRF eligibility because Keating and Lancaster will be eligible.
But you're.
That's a fact.
Great, but that, to me, the opportunity, there's a
Which one?
risk that
Which
pretty
one?
much negates it. So why even bring it up?
The risk that negates it.
So you say we're gonna expand the eligibility here, but on the other side, we're gonna have a lower priority. So you're just giving a negative and a positive.
Yeah. That was the whole idea.
So don't they cancel each other out?
So,
Why even discuss it?
you say less SRF money available.
I'm not convinced that, I think there probably will be more money available, but there'll be more customers. I mean, I said less because, I mean, that's, I was just like your position, I don't think there'll be less, I think there'll be more, but it would be, I don't know how you wanna capture that. More users chasing the money or something like that, there'd be, you know, there's not gonna be actually, thank you for pointing that out, I don't think there'll be less, I think there'll be more, but the point is, be more, well, there'll be more people
Yeah,
going
I think-
for it.
I think there's a +1 and a -1 equals 0. So why even have the information on the page?
Because this is a presentation to the water users. They're about to vote on $47 million.
If you try to, if you
Well,
were
let me-
explaining,
you asked me a
that to
question,
me
Mark. Let me-
here, and I
let
know
me-
what I know,
let me-
I'm confused.
Let me answer the question, then it'll be your turn, okay? Because you're presenting to the customers, what's gonna happen if I say no? This could happen, bad stuff over here, and this could happen, good stuff over here. It's their decision and presenting it, and people raising their hand, asking questions, it's a slide. It's a slide. And you could, just like we were talking about this, well, there may be more money, but you know what, there'll be so many more people, you're going from 20 down to 4, there's really gonna be a lot of people chasing it. You're presenting information to them, not biases, but factual information.
That-
And then you're presenting this heating land, what do you mean it'll be SRF? Well, even if it goes to 4, they'll be eligible, because of the SRF, if they stay consistent, will be down at 2.
So-
These are words that go out to the audience so that they can.
I get it. We're doing a factual report
Yeah.
with a hypothetical synopsis.
With options, with possibilities,
I'm just, as
for
long as we
consideration.
make it clear
Yeah.
that these are all hypothetical situations, I'm fine with that. But everything else in this report is fact. So I don't want somebody to look at hypothetical and call it fact.
Well, the one we're talking is not hypothetical, it's a fact.
But you could easily say, if the levels
We
do
don't-
drop
we
to
don't-
4 parts per trillion,
We don't
it
know.
opens up
Yep.
all the other sources
It
of
opens up a
possible
lot,
funding,
possible.
but, no,
It's
it
all,
definitely
all
will
this
fit.
is, all this could happen, shoulda, coulda, it just,
Well,
when I'm looking at this, a lot of this stuff has factual information. I don't want people to look at those as deciding facts, because they're not necessarily, facts.
So.
I get it, I don't mind
So, you know what?
informing the public.
You're talking to adults, I mean, you're talking to adults, and when you say,
So,
if this.
hold on.
Wait,
No, let me talk. You
Well,
cranked it up.
Well, I
So
was
listen,
already talking.
I understand. What I'd like to do here, because we do need to move this along,
Yes.
is that, what if we put a page in here of like, what ifs, hypotheticals, whatever, because I do agree with you, this report is full of a lot of factual, information. And there's, I'm not disagreeing, these are good points, but maybe we put them in there in a way that like, these are things that could happen.
I
We
don't-
don't.
I don't think they should be under a no vote. I
No, no,
think it should
we
be
did
a
one
separate
more-
page.
we did
What if
one
we did
more
it one
page
more
right
page
after this.
with
Well, we-
possible
just-
outcomes, or I don't
We
know.
could just use these under the no, because we all agree with those.
We get bone.
And-
Yeah, we have all of these.
We have those, all right.
Yeah.
So,
So
But then again, you get twisted around, because these things don't fit unless it's a no vote. I mean, it's not, it doesn't fit. I tried.
I think that we should just put these as like possible outcomes or hypothetical situations that could happen in the future.
We took other factual stuff out, the monthly billing,
Right.
the possible comparison to a non-SRF.
So
I
let's
just
take
wanna,
this.
I don't mind that information being
Right.
available, I just feel it's not, everything else has like merit.
So let's make a separate page
Yeah.
with,
So
I don't wanna
add
say
page.
merit, merit's not a good word, but, I just don't want
Yeah.
people to
because
read
the
those
fact
as facts.
is we don't know a lot, I mean, inflation's obviously, but like, the less SRF money available, tomorrow does a lawsuit gets settled and they flood $6 billion doubtful, but you know what I'm saying, we don't know, those are things we don't know. So, while they're all good points, it's not something we can actually put in a concrete level. That's what I'm saying. It's information that's right, and the public could take that and they could dive into it more, and I think they should have it, but it's not concrete that this is absolutely gonna happen.
Well, let's be specific, what are we talking about here?
All right, so I think inflation, I think we all can agree that inflation is happening, right? I mean, they're all pretty solid on that one. The SRF and money availability, we don't know.
Yeah, I
You
would,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I would actually change that based on.
Lower priority on the SRF, I mean, it seems more than likely, but that, I feel like we would be lower priority. Possible higher interest rate, of course, it's gonna be a higher interest rate.
And, well, we know that, because Lou said this 2.2 has been here for.
You know what, you're
rock
right.
solid.
Believe
We don't know.
We don't know.
Well, don't you, wait.
Possible
We
higher.
don't know if we would get it.
We don't know.
That's why I'm saying, all
It's
that
possible.
is
It's
not
possible, we don't
concrete.
know.
No, what he's saying, Bill, is that we don't know if we would get the SRF.
Right.
SRF, yes,
Right.
he said historically stays at the 2.3 or whatever, 2.2, but we don't know if we would get
Well,
it, so our
we're
rates.
talking about the interest rate.
Possible, yes, exactly, so if we don't get SRF, we would get a bond at a higher interest
Possibly,
rate.
yes.
That's what he's saying,
So, a bond.
yes.
This one here, the AWA litigation, possibility, you know what I'm saying?
That's a big one, I think.
You know, right, so I
So
think.
add all those to the next page with a
Correct.
hypothetical.
Yes.
Or just,
Or, well,
What I have is risks and
Possibility.
opportunities, you wanna put on
Possibilities.
another page and call it hypotheticals.
Yes.
Or
Sure.
considerations.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
I don't care.
I like risks and
Consideration.
opportunities, that's exactly what it is.
considerations, and then risks
And
and
here's another good one, I
opportunities.
think.
Okay,
We talked about this last time too, there seemed to be some confusion, I don't think there is now, because I think we talked it through, about delaying the residents' cost increase. That's be another 2 years, basically, before
Well,
they have to
the
show.
only thing I don't like about that is, I feel like delays residents' cost increase, but by delaying this, the cost increases more. In other words,
so back
But the
before
other
you
thing
lived
you
here,
have to
Bill,
think about
let me-
though is-
I got a little story,
Yeah.
and maybe somebody may correct me if I'm wrong, because I was a little younger when this happened. We had a town manager in town that put together a comprehensive plan to build a new library, public safety building, and something else. And it was the plan was put together, and it was voted on, and it got voted down. Subsequently, in future years, the town went and built a new public safety building, a new library, and I think there was something else on there. And in the end, if you took what we added up to do all of those projects, it was more than the original. And I'm not sure that of all the details, and maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
But that's kind of what I see here, is if we push this thing down the road, that we're gonna be building a treatment plant anyway, from what we're hearing. And I think we're either gonna get less of a treatment plant for the same money, or we're gonna be spending more.
Right.
So that's
So-
kind of where my.
that's where like.
So I think your vote would be yes.
What, on this?
Yeah.
I am leaning towards, I think it's a good plan, and I think that they're working hard to make it affordable at all levels,
So, I mean,
so.
what your mental gymnastics right now demonstrates to me is you would vote yes on this 47 million. And all I'm saying is, we should give the townspeople the same option to think it through like that.
I
okay?
agree,
And
but
let them
they,
vote yes or no.
but you've said it yourself, they don't sit at these meetings and see
Well, that's
everything,
what-
so
that's
there's a
what this
certain
is-
amount
I mean,
of trust
yeah,
that they come to us.
No, that's true, I mean, but that's what this is all about, the
So we
presentation.
agree is to put these items on, opportunities and risks.
Considerations,
Considerations
risks
page,
and
okay,
opportunities.
great.
Yep.
Next page.
That's my second one, by the way.
Lunenburg's current PFAS.
I just wanna point out that I am compromising my views in some,
That's why
which we don't see much.
That's why we work together here on this board.
You're doing a great job, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, current PFAS and manganese levels.
So this one, because you guys didn't like the manganese, I mean, we could pull that out of here. I don't even know if we need the screen, but, on this page.
I think having the current PFAS levels would be relevant
Yeah.
here, but not the manganese, how about that?
Yeah.
But the only problem is what what we're trying to get across was at the bottom, is that the residents need to understand we're building a treatment plant regardless.
But
Not,
going back to
even
Bill's,
if
we
it's
don't
not
have that
just
in
for
writing.
PFAS.
Right, we don't have that.
I don't have it as a fact.
Right, all right.
It's all gotta be
So,
facts.
That
once
could be, hey,
again,
that could go
Yeah,
on
okay.
the
hypothetical,
opportunity
we
and
could
risk.
put that on the risk and opportunity.
So let's
page.
scratch
How, in
this.
what context would you put that on the considerations.
We get SRF funding to treat iron and manganese, which we may have to build in the future with with no SRF funding available for iron and manganese.
Yeah, if we had a verification of that, of that.
But we don't, and for right now, for moving this ahead, we're gonna nix the manganese levels off of this page,
So
okay?
you want everything else on there, so you want
Yep.
manganese?
Bill, I'm gonna get that in writing.
Yep. Yeah, you get this all
I
PFAS,
appreciate it.
okay?
Actually, on these numbers, how often do we report contamination levels? I look at the portal, it's called, what's it called?
Bill, I'm gonna pause you right there, okay?
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
understand it's a
You're right.
great question,
You're
but
right.
we gotta get through this,
All right, go
so.
ahead, you're
All
right.
right, so it's nixing the manganese
Manganese
off this.
gone.
All right, next page. What does the future financial of the district
Yeah,
looks like?
People might not like this page. All right, so this is just where what happened in the past, where we're at now, and what's the future. So 2024, we went for a zero interest loan, and so the total cost was the cost of the loan. So in this case, I had 41 million,
I
numbers had
thought that was
changed.
32.
No, I think it was more, because we had Hickory Hills, and then we had Lancaster, and then we had the transmission main. But yeah, it wasn't 41.
No, it was 32, I remember that.
It was
number.
32.
That was in the master plan,
And
it was
in
32.
talking with the engineer, there was a possibility that they would allow us to add on the expense of the transmission main to Lancaster Ave, I believe.
But the vote was on
But it was,
32.
the vote was on 32.
Yeah, so
So we can put
that's not-
32, because that,
yeah.
Okay, and then
Going back.
now currently,
Mhm.
saying 41 million, so the total cost in the 30 years, 56 million it's gonna cost us. If we vote it down and we go bond, it's gonna be current rates, 4.5%, total cost 87 million. So the point is, we almost double the cost from what,
Yeah, I'm not, you're right, I don't like that one. Because you
but
don't know.
I wanna show the people that
But it's
what
fact.
they voted,
but it's,
cost us
But yeah,
millions
but
of
you can't
dollars.
vote, you're not voting for the future. I mean, what we said, the first two are accurate, except that should be 34. But 20.
I can look up the real number.
But 2028, it could be 0.
I would agree with, probably, I think it's confusing to have the 41 million at 0%, even 32 million, because then, you know, we're not talking apples for apples to the 56 million.
no, it was just what,
It was just at that point, so, you know, you could say we had a 0% interest availability, but I don't know if the total really makes a difference at this point.
I agree.
I also think that the second line is a good line, and I kind of agree with Bill, we're being hypothetical, so you see how I'm agreeing with you, Bill?
This
with
might
the
be-
2028.
This might be number 3.
But I think the residents should know that if we were to go out for a bonded project, that there's significant savings, and it would be a possibility of, you know,
I mean, that's part of this,
Toss the whole
that's part of the
I'll make it.
consideration.
That's how I feel about the last page. We're just gonna admit it.
Jesus.
Was that the last page?
That was the
Number
last
three.
page. So, while I appreciate the work and thought that goes into it, if we're trying to stick to factuals, let's just stick to it, because there's a lot of hypotheticals there, and if someone has a question about it, by all means, we can verbally respond to it, but there is just some confusion in this. Okay, great. All right,
Who's presenting this?
not you. No, just kidding.
I honestly,
All of us. Maybe we can just take a page. Be like a team. Pass the mic. Okay.
So are you guys okay? We really need to get this very much so done, and I know you're not here next Wednesday.
You're not
And then the following Wednesday is literally the week before. Alright, so are you guys okay with, we'll work on that hypothetical page, we'll make these changes, everything that you had. Are you guys okay with me sending them out through the email?
Could you send them out for review?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So over these next couple days, can we try to, I mean, are you, yeah, we gotta get this finalized and figured out.
Yes,
Okay.
please put it together.
Okay.
Email
And
it
then,
to us.
and then what's our plan for presenting
I know.
this? Do you want us to book the town hall? Or we do it at the actual meeting, maybe we do it at 5
Well, we
o'clock
still
instead
have,
of-
I mean, I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
think-
bring this
I
up
think
for the
it-
action items. We still have the public access TV.
I
know
think
the
it would
citizens-
behoove us to do the public access TV, briefing on this, for absolutely sure. And if we want to have some sort of meeting beforehand, like we've done in the past with this, you know, we absolutely, I think it's a good idea, you might get Q&A from the public, you know. Yeah, that's how I feel. By all means, I don't think we should be presenting it at the meeting and getting a vote, no.
No,
that's-
no,
we
no,
need to get
no.
out
They
there
already,
prior
yeah,
to.
the vote's already
Yeah.
decided.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, the
We-
way
we
this
can
is,
say-
at multiple pages, you could put a link to it on,
Say not present this at the meeting?
I don't think that
No,
should
not
be the
this-
first
not at
time
this-
it should be presented.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, no.
Oh.
no, I think we should take every
So, all right, so if
opportunity
we
to get out.
finalize this week, then I guess, I don't know if you're not here on the 20th, maybe we can try to finalize dates of. with
Do you want, all right, so
public
look,
access.
let's talk to public access, see if we can get some, an opportunity with them.
Yeah, she
to
said we
just-
can.
Just to, you know, just to have a video out there so someone can collect and read
Yep.
on. I don't think we need to present this at our meeting normally, because we've presented it to ourselves for the
A
past
million times.
many times. And, I mean,
I think you could post this and
Sure.
somehow put it either on our Facebook page or
Right.
Yeah.
something to give the public the opportunity to just read through it themselves.
yep,
Um,
And actually, we could probably do, if we're doing the postcards, I could have her do a QR code on it to, or even just state something on the
I would
postcard,
do
go
the-
to.
I would do the QR code that links to this presentation.
Yeah.
And gives people an opportunity to kind of scroll through it.
Yep,
And then I think that one of the,
oh, that's gonna
another,
be cut
another
tight.
way is to attend a couple of the public meetings in town and present it to the boards.
Mm.
And also have the QR code like available that links to it. Probably quick little thing in the ledger that maybe links to QR, because didn't we have the QR code? Did we have it in the
did.
ledger for the survey?
My concern though is that our timeline is so short, like, we need to get these postcards out like within 2 weeks, which means that this presentation needs to be done with that code before this design gets sent to the printers for the postcards to be
I think it's more
mailed.
important to get the postcards out in a timely fashion.
Yes, that's
If we cannot
kinda-
get a QR code on a postcard, then it's, so, you know.
Yeah, that's kinda how I feel, so if we put the link to the
we could
website
maybe-
and
yes,
Facebook and that kind of stuff,
say for more
that's all.
information,
Yeah.
and then you
Go
can go
here.
to the website and
Yep.
bring it up would be great.
Yep.
Somehow to get the postcards out.
Yeah,
Did we close with them on the postcards?
that's coming later.
I-
okay.
So the idea is
Good.
to finalize this and get final approval from all of us.
Yes.
So that we can
Yep,
Okay,
make it live.
yep,
And then try to figure out who can go to what
yep.
meetings and
And
get
then
it out
public
there.
access, I'll get dates and times from her and then
Okay.
get emailed out.
all right, excellent, moving on. Hour and a half, got through. Next is a vote for approve the warrant special meeting, we already did that, so we're gonna pass over that, we did that last meeting, okay? Next thing on item 5, discussion regarding the Woodlands kayak rack. I know that we received,
I got an email from their lawyer stating, I invited them again, and I don't think I printed his email, but basically said they are not sending anybody, oh, right here. Thanks for the follow-up, no representatives from the Woodlands will attend. We respectfully decline at this time this invitation to meet. Moving forward, I guess they have 2 new lawyers working that we have to communicate with, and he will no longer be working with them, so I have that, and then I also received an email from their lawyer, from this lawyer before, he says he's gone next week, I guess. Actually, the email was sent to our lawyer at KP Law, and it was CC'd to me. I think you have the copies, basically a letter going to our lawyer and to DEP, stating that I didn't, literally got it at the end, I printed them. I told them, I believe I had told the last time we spoke that I thought the board told me not to go through legal counsel.
Right.
So I replied to them and said, any and all communication needs to go through the superintendent before you send stuff to our legal
Correct.
counsel. Our residents don't need to pay legal fees for things that we haven't approved.
correct,
So I don't know, I haven't even had a chance to go through all of it. I'm guessing by briefly looking at it, it basically states they're not moving it. And I don't know. I honestly, I didn't read, there's multiple pages, I saw a bunch of attachments, the affidavits that Bill brought to the last meeting are there, but I didn't read word for word what it is.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I think we need more, if we're gonna review this,
Yeah.
I don't think we wanna try to review this tonight. I think we wanna go through it
Okay.
and maybe table this till the next meeting.
Sure, I agree with that. However, I did have some questions about the affidavits.
They're all in this package?
We only.
I literally just printed that
Oh,
as we
oh,
were
oh.
walking in the meeting, so you can take it and I can print another copy.
This
there
copy
one here
that
or
Christie.
two?
No, there's two, there's one letter to
Chris-
DEP and one letter to our lawyer.
That
There was like-
Christie made has the affidavits on it that,
Okay, so help me, what, this is from,
That is from the Woodlands attorney Nathaniel Stephen with McGregor Law.
that's a Woodlands attorney, McGregor?
McGregor Law, yeah. So he said he,
This is being sent to a DEP?
there was two attachments. One attachment was to DEP and I think one attachment was to, Brian Riley, who is our, legal counsel for KP Law.
Can you give me the executive summary, what does it say?
I don't know, I
Oh,
literally just
I
got
gotta
it.
tell you,
I literally just got it, so
There's
that's
a
what,
lot-
that's
there's a lot
what,
here.
I
yeah.
definitely-
we should-
I'm sorry,
I want to very much read that and analyze it
Okay.
before we just dive into it. However, I did have some questions actually for you, Bill, on the affidavits.
They're in here?
Yes, the ones that you,
Yeah.
thank you for submitting those, Christie. How did you get those?
I asked, let's see, I think I asked John, we're in a discussion with, no, Bob. I asked Bob in a discussion with him. In fact, it was when we were talking about the 17-year versus the 10-year or something. Remember I said these kayaks were there for 17, the whole time that Hickory Hills was running? And you said, no, it wasn't because you were there and you didn't see anything when they were building or when they were digging. I mentioned that to Bob and he says he had affidavits of the people who were there. So he must have done this long before.
I need affidavits the other way too.
Huh?
My brother's first.
Well, I mean-
Let me just, I just have some questions here. All right, so you got them from Bob Pease. When did you get them?
It's right after that discussion, whatever we had that discussion.
Oh, so it was after our meeting, we discussed doing the email, or doing the letter, and you said you would.
I would do that letter,
So
yeah,
it was
which
probably after that, so. it was
I
after-
spent a lot of time on it.
So, I guess what I just need to wrap my head around this a little bit more, is throughout this process with the kayaks, I have very specific instructions from the Woodlands attorney to not contact the Woodlands on this, and that you need to speak through the attorney whenever you want to talk about this. So, I don't really understand how it is that you went directly to Bob Pease or whoever you contacted there, or vice versa, if we're explicitly saying, told not to do that.
Oh, whoa, about that, what's that last thing, explicitly told not to do what?
That
Yeah,
we were
no,
not,
we
Not allowed
we have a
to-
letter from
Any
their
resident
attorney
from the
saying that we
Yeah.
cannot approach or discuss this with any resident of the Woodlands.
Per the
From-
Woodlands
from the-
request.
For the Woodlands, per the
That's how-
Woodlands
that's how
attorney
they
Oh, well,
request.
that was before my time, I didn't know that.
Okay.
So now you
But
know,
all the residents of the Woodlands knew that
certainly
because they
did,
told
'cause they
their
told
lawyer
us that.
to tell us that.
Oh, well, I
So-
didn't know that.
We just need to be a little careful. I have people that approach me a lot for water district information,
So we're not
Like
allowed
I'm-
to talk to anybody from the Woodlands?
specifically regarding.
Where is that? I
kayak
didn't see
racks.
that letter.
I'm sure we can dig it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
I'll
get
send
it
it
to
to
you,
you.
but I just,
Please.
so that's why I guess my curiosity that's what I'm saying, did you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you?
Oh, no, I mean, I've done research my whole life. Okay?
I
And so, and so we had this debate, right,
Right.
was it 17 years? And I said, okay, it's been 10 years instead of 17 or whatever. And I said, well, how do you know it's been that long? I have,
Okay,
I mean, it was a conversation about it, so that seems weird, I can't talk to anybody from the Woodlands. My daughter lives in the Woodlands.
No, it's not, you can't talk to them about the
I'm not
kayak.
saying, but hold up, I'm not saying you can't talk to anybody, it's just we have specifically from their lawyer that we are not to go out and ask like, hey guys, what's going on with this? Usually if we have any conversation regarding this kayak rack, it has to go through their attorney, so that's, when you showed up all of a sudden with these affidavits, I'm like, whoa, I mean, so that means you talked to them about the kayak racks, right?
Yeah.
Which is,
Oh, yeah.
We're not supposed to.
which, I don't, like, this whole time, that's all I wanted to do is just have a conversation with them, and it's been like, no. So anyway, I'll have to kind of just look into that more, it just seemed a little, it caught me off guard when it came off, and,
Back to my comment I was making earlier, a lot of times people approach me about things with the district. And when they had information that they wanted to bring up, they brought us up each an individual envelope, and that's the way to do it. I normally point people in the direction of call the district, talk to the superintendent. You have information for our meetings, bring it up to the clerk treasurer so she can present it at one of our meetings. It's just, it's really the way things are supposed to, I guess, go. You know, as much as we wanna try to have a quick conversation, which is what the chair tried to do to try to resolve the situation, it's great. But, yeah, we did get a letter from them saying we couldn't discuss it anymore.
Well,
We're out of
I'd
contact.
really like to have a copy of the
Oh, yeah.
accuracy. That doesn't, I mean, I'd like to read the words behind it. I don't, that we can't talk to anybody over there. I mean,
about
So-
the kayak rack.
about.
Okay,
Well,
I'm not saying no, Bill, you can't talk to your daughter, I'm just saying, it's.
I can't talk to her about kayaks, I guess.
It's just real
You know,
simple.
it's, actually, since we're talking about subjects like that,
No, we're discussing the Woodlands kayak rack.
we're also discussing who you can talk to and who you can't talk to. Is that part of what we're talking about? About what's allowed and what's not
No,
allowed?
we're discussing the Woodlands kayak rack. If you'd like to bring that point up later, I'd love to hear it. I just wanna try to stick to this and move on. Okay, so, basically on that, Christie,
Table it.
yeah, we're gonna table that. We will take the
Doesn't
chance
come on action item.
to review that letter and move on. Next thing we have, item number 6, is response to residents' questions regarding the submission of the SRF.
So, I'm sorry, do we close on that? Did we close on the kayak piece?
We closed on the kayak piece,
I-
we tabled it until further.
You guys all got
till-
to review
till
those
we-
letters?
till we
Yeah,
review
unless,
those
unless-
letters.
yeah, because there's a pretty thick
Right.
thing to
Because
go
we all
through here.
agree that I'd like to be able to process, review that,
Yeah.
look at it, and we will revisit that at the next time.
I believe I just emailed them all to you as well.
Okay,
Let me know if I didn't though.
we good there?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, next thing we have, respond to residents' questions regarding the submission of the SRF application. This is you, Mr. Sarah.
This is me. Andy Stavasky, 8 Winter Green Court, Lunenburg. Thank you. This has been very important to me if you haven't picked up on that. So, I'm trying to get an understanding on how this SRF application came to be. It's my understanding that last May 14th, 2025, the Lunenburg Water District Commission decided they weren't going to apply for SRF funding. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, and everybody here was in attendance, and it was decided, we're not gonna go for the SRF funding. I believe you stated it was because you wanted more information, you wanted to get the survey out and get the results back, and we weren't clear on the way to move forward.
Yes, so I actually have a copy of your letter here.
Sure, and that's just to help us have a conversation.
Sure, and I can read this down and give you the response if you'd like, whatever you want to do with them.
Well, I don't want to just be limited to yes and no on the questions. I'm trying to frame, I want to get an understanding. This is very important to me. I want to understand how we got from point A to point B. I think it speaks to a lot of things that are important to me. So, yeah, if you want to go down that list, maybe that's a good way to address this.
Can I just jump on the first one?
Sure.
Okay, so the commissioners are ultimately responsible for all the financial long-term planning. The base level authorization of the projects begin with myself. So nothing comes from the commissioners mostly. to me to do a project. Usually I investigate, I look at the grants, myself and Christie look at the grants and what kind of funding sources are available. Then it goes to the commissioners.
Yep.
Then it goes, do they approve, not approve, they approve, then it goes to the voters. So the ultimate decision for like this SRF is on the voters. So that's kind of what took
The
place.
point of my question on that first one, when I asked who holds the legal responsibility for financial planning and the authorization of major projects, is it the commissioners? Now, there's no doubt that you and Christie provide expert information on that. You run the water district day to day. Christie's the treasurer. But when the water commissioners make a decision on what's our financial plan for the next year, what are the projects we're gonna invest in, who has the ultimate authority on that? Is it you, Fran?
Commissioners overrule everything.
Right,
They do. They're
okay.
in charge of everything.
You made that decision on May 14th not to do that, so,
Correct,
great.
okay.
So,
Do
that was it. I have for the
Okay.
number one question.
do you want me to?
Yeah, let's,
Sure. So, your second question regarding the May 14th Commissioners meeting, I think we've answered that question, that yes, the Commissioners decided not to apply for SRF funding at that time.
just trying to make, yep,
Okay, so, all right, so the next thing you had, regarding the December 3rd, 2025 Commissioners meeting, did the Superintendent Fran McNamara inform the Commissioners that he had submitted the SRF application? Did he state that this was done without the prior knowledge or authorization of the Commissioners? Was this the first time the Commissioners were made aware of the submission? Did the submission of this application contradict the decision made by the May 14th not to apply for the SRF funding? And why was there a delay from July to December on informing the board about this application? Okay. Commissioners were notified individually that the application was submitted for SRF funding. The vote of the Commissioners was not taken at a meeting. It was discussed individually with members. It's common practice for the superintendent clerk treasurer to apply for every grant available to the district. Yes, it contradicts the Commissioners' original applying for the SRF, but when everybody became aware that this was the last year for the infrastructure money, we felt it was worth a while attempt. It was not anticipated that Lunenburg would even make the funding list. It was mostly stated so that everyone was aware that IUP would soon be released. So I'll tell you personally, I came in and talked to Fran, as I often stop in here and do, and talk to pretty much everybody. This is after Time Bond had talked with Fran over certain things and saying like, hey, listen, you know, it's kind of a no-brainer to apply for this SRF again. It's pretty much the same application as last year.
so when he talked to you, each of you individually, you weren't here, Bill, but you talked to each of the commissioners individually, Fran, is that what
So-
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever spoke to John, but I know I talked to Mark and
So you talked to at least two of the commissioners individually about this.
that I submitted. Yeah, that was going. I wanted to submit.
Right.
So in the meeting on December 3rd, why did you say, hey, guys, you don't know this yet, but I've submitted the SRF funding?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it was more directed at John because I don't think
No,
John
you
was
said
aware.
you-
Yeah, I
no.
might have misspoke.
You misspoke.
Might have.
You might have. This is important because December 3rd, nobody else knew about this. The public knew as of May 14th, you weren't gonna do it. There was no other discussion in any of the meetings, nothing mentioned in any of the meeting minutes. I've gone over them. You're saying, oh, no. Privately, Fran met with you. Did he meet with you, Mr. Birch?
Yes, he told me the situation, and I told him to go ahead and apply for it.
So you knew before December 3rd that he was applying for the SRF funding?
Yeah,
Because in that meeting, he said, you guys don't know this. And you looked a little surprised because you didn't even know what option he
I
applied
don't
for.
know how I look surprised, but I had a meeting prior to him submitting the application with Fran. We were in here, he discussed the fact that the SRF eligibility and that the going from 0 to 2%, and some of the things that were going on, and he said it was basically taking the submission from last year and resubmitting it. A lot of the work was done. I said you should go ahead and do it.
You knew all about that before December 3rd.
Yes.
When do you think he spoke to you about that?
I do
I'm
not
sorry, Christie,
recall the
what?
exact date and time.
Probably John.
I can't cough,
No.
sorry.
You do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, very
It was
good.
before it was around July when they said, it was a last minute thing, and it was tied to the infrastructure.
We had the meeting in
Last
here,
meeting
we
that
were,
the-
I remember we were in here, it wasn't a phone conversation or anything special. It was brought up, and I said, I think you should do it, you should confer with another, with the other commissioners.
Right, I got distracted there. When do you think this happened?
It was before the December meeting,
It was in July.
yeah.
It had to be before the,
I'm like Mr. Woodward and the chair, I'm in and out of here.
So it was before July, before he actually made the submission.
I think the submission was the middle of July.
The submission was
No,
July
we didn't- We had the
24th.
conversation before, because you hadn't submitted it.
Right.
And we don't talk about it all the way until December. And
to
Francis,
be honest with you, I was like, sure, I thought they'd laugh us off the table and us not
So
get
did I.
it, so I was like, you know what?
yeah, you said that in December, you said, man, who knows what's gonna happen, maybe.
I think Fran did the right thing, and that's why he came to us and he asked us.
Different
to
question,
tell
but,
him
so you're saying before July 24th, between May 14th and July 24th, when he made the submission, he had a meeting with you, he had a meeting with you, and you agreed, yeah, make that submission.
Yeah,
Yes.
I told
In
him.
from what I remember, I had a long conversation with Time Bond, questioning, and they.
And we don't talk about it for 5 months. And as you're still going through it, 'cause you're still talking from July to December about, let's get that survey. I want that information before we make a decision. You're having all those conversations after July about the survey and how you need to get that information before you make a decision. Because this is confusing,
It's
friend.
not before we, I wouldn't say that.
It's
that's
confusing because he comes in on December 3rd when you're talking about that survey. And he says, and I'm quoting, "You guys don't know this yet, but I've already submitted for the SRF funding." That's a direct quote from you on December 3rd. And now you're saying, no, no, no. Way back in July, he told us about this. We said, that's a
So
great
I can tell you
idea.
that did Fran come back and say, I applied for it? No. He said, I'm gonna. Now, that was the conversation I had with him.
Right, so-
And on top of it, with this, I think he did the right thing by applying for it. So
Why wouldn't we talk about this in the meeting and let the public know?
probably can
It
tell you
just
why.
never came up.
It didn't come up.
There's lots of
There's many
times that
comes up
things
in
are
the
applied for, and until they come to fruition, we don't necessarily.
This isn't buying new pipes. This is a $42 million highly contested SRF
Whoa, whoa,
loan.
whoa, we're not spending $42 million yet, that's coming up at the meeting,
But that was the SRF application.
yeah.
So it's not an everyday thing where it's like, oh, we're always talking about spending money and going for loans.
Grant funding is an everyday thing here. Christie.
We talked about buying a $200,000 tractor for 2 months.
Christie went around us and saved the residents all sorts of money on, because I can't recall whether we did approve or not, the lead and copper. It's,
Sure.
You know, I don't think that grant applications are something that the whole board needs to
On the same thing.
You don't think the SRF
Grant
funding that is not something the board should have voted on?
I think SRF funding and approving it, that 42 million, oh yeah, we need a vote
But
on it.
applying and putting into the Mass DEP an
I think it's
application,
his job.
but weeks before you said, don't do it. So that's what I'm trying to understand, and I'm still confused.
So at a
How else
meeting we
can I
did,
answer your question?
I've got it, I think, yeah, you've said that sometime before July 24th, Fran met with both you guys and you decided to move ahead with this.
we did not meet together at the same time. Fran had independent discussions with both of us.
And the decision was made,
And I told him to go ahead and he should apply.
And I think I did, and I told you that I did. I don't think I asked you. I don't usually, I don't think I asked anybody for the emerging contaminant grant. We applied for,
The
we
One
applied for
Stop
grants all the
Growth
time.
grant.
So if you guys want me to scratch all that and wait.
no, just when you said, you guys don't know this yet, I said, well,
Have we answered your question, Mr. Shire?
I think so. Guys, since we have it on the table, is there any
This is to you.
I thought it was an agenda topic to be discussed at this meeting, but it's only to be discussed with me?
You're the one that petitioned it.
Sure, is there anything?
I'll say this, does anybody else have anything?
That
to
was
add?
my intention.
Is it- All right.
Very good, thank you, I appreciate that.
I do apologize for the delay in getting this back to you. Been a bit busy.
Thank you.
Commissioner, Superintendent Clerks, and Treasurer's Edition.
My first one, last meeting, I went out of line. I admit, I gotta apologize. I shouldn't have made any comments. I usually been trying to be pretty good. I do get frustrated. I mean, this is my life, so I mean, I put a lot of energy into it, so I stepped out of line. I just wanna apologize, and I'm gonna zip my mouth and no more of that. So that's all I got on that, but I got a few other things I wanna talk about. So we had a leak, Pond Street, we dug it up, thought we fixed the leak. In the process of shutting it down, the valve started leaking, so we have another leak to fix on the valve. And then, the next day, we got a call that the same water line we fixed is leaking across the street in the person's yard. So we gotta go back and we're just gonna replace the whole line. That was one, and then we fixed leak on Leominster Road. That one went smooth and did pretty quick. So went down to Woodland Drive, just a leak, on at the curb stop. Usually no big deal, and the curb stop actually blew off. I mean, it's only a 1-inch line, but you'd be amazed at how much water comes out of a 1-inch line. So much that we couldn't even pump it. So they went to close the valve and close just Woodland Drive, and that valve broke. Water was gushing out of the top of it, still leaking. We gotta get over there and fix that. And just seems like you take one step forward, 2 steps back. Yesterday 2 steps forward and only 1 back, so we're kind of okay. So just give you a heads up, a lot of stuff's starting to.
So the lines on the reasons for the shut off in Hickory Hills yesterday, was that at the Woodlands and Hemlock?
Yes.
So it's Woodland Drive and Hemlock, is that where we're having issues?
There's an intersection. No, well, that's the leaking valve that we need to fix.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the leak was actually at 63 Woodland. And it was just, they don't even have
They don't even
water,
water.
it was just a curb stop for potential. And when we dug it up, there's little pitch grippers that
Yeah.
hold it to the copper. They weren't even tightened up. So it's kind of amazing that it's 140 pounds of pressure down there. So it's amazing that it even lasted this long. So they were digging up, they didn't even hit it, and water started gushing out, and then you pick up the curb stop, and the rod is still on it, and it wasn't even connected, so it wasn't, that was kind of a surprise. But anyway, so the valve's leaking, not sure if the bolts on the top broke. We've had this in the past, actually, the Hemlock Drive was brand new, and the valve broke. We knew what the valve was exactly, so we went and bought the exact same one and just did the bolts, popped a new top in it. Didn't write down what kind of valve was, so I don't remember, so.
Do you have a chance to look at that supplemental grant stuff I sent you for infrastructure?
No, not yet.
You know what I'm talking about?
You sent it, yes,
Yeah.
I just did take a peek at it, but I didn't dig into it.
It seems like we have a leak a week. Yeah.
if I can just
You
interrupt, so Fran,
might wanna look into that. I mean, it did say we're again, tier 1, and I think eligible for it. I mean, maybe time bonds already plugged in, but.
So the water coming out in front of Hemlock Drive, Fran, so you are aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
That's okay, that's all part of
So
what
we're
you're
gonna
just
have to
talking
shut
about.
down all of Hickory
Yeah,
Hills to fix it.
but this time, we
So-
actually will notify all of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
well, I did notice, so I had a couple phone calls, and that's how I was aware that something was going on. And I went right to the Book of Faces, which everybody does, and I did notice you guys did post that you were working down there and working to try to get the water back on. So I appreciate that, and just so residents know, that's really the easiest, most immediate way to look. If you don't have water, normally it's on Facebook. If we didn't put it there, then I'm sure somebody else has put something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is I got Meadow Lane and going up Hill Lonely Acres. Bill from the DPW gave a little permission and details of how he wanted things paved and stuff like that. So we're ready to get moving forward with that. The only thing I want to question is our specs states ductile line pipe, zinc coated ductile line pipe. So we had that leak over Northfield Road that was PVC, we had to replace a valve. It was PVC and ductile line, and when you dug it up and you looked at it, the PVC looked like it was brand new. I mean, the ductile line, which was put in the same time, was all rusted, and it looked pretty ugly. But anyway, so problem with duct line, it corrodes from the outside in, inside is fine. So anyway, so I was wondering if you guys would consider allowing us to maybe modify the spec to maybe under certain conditions, we allow PVC pipe.
So, when you say that, first off, my question is, if someone runs from their curb stop to their house, are they allowed to do plastic in town?
We do copper from the main to the curb stop.
Correct.
Plastic in between, then copper into the house.
Okay, yep. With the ductile, like, so what you just did over there on Rolling Acres and, well, not at Meadow Lane, but that was all ductile last year.
Correct.
Okay. The only thing with the PVC, which, like, I like it and get it, but I'm assuming that if you did need the PVC, you'd be backfilling that with like sand 12 inches round or,
Sand under, sand over.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would slow down the process.
so no one knock a rock into it or anything?
Correct. So, but I got some base, I just did some base quotes on it.
Yeah.
So this is the part I think you guys are gonna like. So the pricing was, PVC, two prices, $17.21 a foot and $22.85 a foot.
Yeah.
8-inch PVC. And then Dr. Lion was, $52.90 a foot. So
Alright, couple questions.
it's more than half off.
Yeah, alright. Is this PVC like a sewer pipe gasketed and pushed together?
Gasketed, yes.
Okay.
But it's blue, it's water, so it's got water rating.
How long is
200,
it? Is it 20 foot?
20 footers, 200 PSI. Rolling Acres pressure's probably 65.
How do you tap it?
You have options, you could do a direct tap. I've always saddle tapped it,
Yeah.
but you do have the ability to direct, you could direct tap Frederick and Schwinn Corporation.
I thought that was pretty cool.
But if we did do a saddle, all we do is full stainless saddles.
Sure, right.
We've had issues with the other ones corroding off and fixing them, so. And so I would recommend that we may add a little stainless, so, because I can't, it's not right for me to have a spec that says, you
No,
gotta
do
put it
this,
exactly
then you-
what I
yeah,
can put in
yeah.
Yeah.
plastic, so I just feel that maybe you allow us to just tweak that.
Well, I guess like, so like in this situation where it's going up and around there, like, I would almost say, okay, as like a trial, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna adapt the rules to this, but like, it's for us to be like, we're gonna install this second loop and see how it fares.
Okay,
I would be in favor of something like that,
okay.
but before, you know, because I know so, you know, the Round Road and that whole big project going down there, like, I'd be a little leery to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and use plastic right away. I'd like to put a little, I don't mind us
That
doing
that
it.
actually came up.
Right,
Great
I'm
question.
you know, I'm assuming that's in there, but that's just kinda how I feel. Like,
Okay.
you know, I'm all for trying it, but I don't think,
So will you guys allow me, the board, to give PVC a trial run?
I will.
1,300 feet. 2 hydrants, 1,300 feet, cuts the price probably in half.
In that area,
And
absolutely.
it does a loop,
No, we're just going up the top of the hill to the hydrant at the top.
Yeah.
but it's still a loop all the way
It will
around,
loop,
right?
Yeah.
it'll loop the other way.
Right.
So, just last year when you did you did Rolling Acres and you stopped pretty much at Meadow Lane.
Yeah, we
right?
crossed over to Meadow Lane, so
Right.
we're just gonna grab that and just continue.
How,
Up to the top. You're gonna
Yes.
grab this.
Original-
This section's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, never had.
what's the idea to evaluate? It's like, what would be considered an evaluation timeframe?
5-year period.
I mean, pretty much anything you put in 5 years is probably not gonna,
I don't, I mean, you're right, I don't know. Remember the leak we had over on, in front of Pete Howley's house? On Peninsula.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was newer and like the whole pipe looked good, but it was just like,
One bad spot
you know,
And that same happened on
on this road.
Leominster Road.
Right.
With those holes
Yeah,
and everything on
right.
that. So I think that's what's
PVC
kind
won't
of,
do that.
yeah.
And that's why.
can
all
you
the new ones
drive a
zinc-
ground rod through it?
No. Oh, yes. PVC, yes. Duct line.
You're right, Mr. Burke. I don't know, like, what that trial.
I'm okay with trying it out.
Right.
I think it's a significant saving, but I wanna make sure that
Right.
it's,
And the other reason why I say there
we're
is,
not pushing something down the road.
it's not a connecting line, it's I hate to say it, but it's an easier place to fix if there was a problem. It's not like, you know, you're shutting down half the town, it's on a dead end.
It's on a dead end loop.
You know, so that's where like I'd be more apt to try it somewhere like there.
It's not a dedicated service line
Correct.
that has a dead end.
Right, like versus like Townsend Harbor Road, you can shut off all Hickory Hills, you know what I'm
With
saying?
one valve,
Right.
you can shut off all the Hickory Hills.
So. I'm okay for trying it. I don't know if we need to put a deadline on the,
Yeah.
you know, but.
No, I know.
Let's just leave it open, and
Yeah.
then see, hey, how's it working?
Yeah.
A couple of years from now, whatever. So you were ready to say something?
No, I just wondering, is this a test, the question is this about using PVC or not PVC? Are you talking about the junction, or are you talking about the issues with the tap on it? Well, I'm trying to understand what PVC's been used for water for.
Oh, for years.
Yeah, so what's the question?
Yeah, mostly, just our spec says ductile line, zinc coated ductile line, that's our spec. And, so I don't have any problems with PVC, so that was my thinking, because of the cost, we can put it in without much more expense, pretty much just a little bit of sand and, tracing.
So my question, what's the debate? What are you guys concerned about?
Just modifying that spec to, because
Yeah.
that's where I mean, how do I tell that guy, you have to use ductile line for more than twice the cost of the PVC,
Okay, not.
and me not using it, so that's kinda, just wanna make sure that
So
everybody's
then if
okay.
we're putting this in as kind of a,
This is a
Trial
trial.
case.
This
This
is
is
all this
not
is a
a-
trial for us. It's not changing our
give us
spec
an
or anything.
opportunity to
To
evaluate.
evaluate. Maybe in years to come, we find this is fantastic and we can change our spec, but, so, we just kinda wanna give it a little try. It's a great area to do it.
Perfect.
Okay.
That was all
This
I
is,
had.
this in case you don't get to your email, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Birch?
Good. Amazing, huh?
Yeah, very good. Mr. Henry?
Yeah, I had a couple questions. The data that goes on the energy, mass energy and environmental data portal. Well, first of all, how often do we test? Do we test every quarter? I'm thinking primarily PFAS, but everything.
Erin, we have a sampling plan that tells
Yes.
us, you will test this monthly, you will test this quarterly. Like, the PFAS, I think is, some of the wells, like well number 5, that one exceeded the 20, so that one, I think we're on monthly testing for that one. The other ones, I think, are, mostly quarterly, some like Keating, sometimes just once a
So
year. So it's not-
where is that data?
For us, it goes on EDP, and we don't submit it.
Oh.
We go to the lab, and they submit everything. So even though we don't get it, we just get a printed statement, and they submit it direct.
EDEP.
That's who.
Yeah,
we
okay,
use.
so you know that the portal I've always been looking at to look at the test results is it's called Mass Energy and Environment Data Portal. Is that,
I'm not sure. See, for me, maybe because we actually want to count the DEP, so maybe I have a different way of
is this
seeing it.
accessible, Fran? Is there,
I'm not sure. Usually when you log into it, you can see all the different columns for all different.
I wonder if it's the same one, because I use that one, again, the Energy and Environment Data Portal. It's got all 20, I see for PFAS, 20, 22, 24, 25. So I see it, but it seems to me we're doing more testing than actually is appearing on that data portal.
Yeah, I did.
I'll check with
I'm
these
not
people.
familiar with that one,
Yeah.
but I know DEP just called last week, questioning those manganese samples, because we had a manganese sample come back at 2.27, which is, you almost have to chew the water. And we called the lab and said that there's something, you moved the decimals in the wrong spot. And they said, no, it's correct. So I was speaking with DEP and we retested, and I think they agree with me that it was a bad sample, because none of the retest done a week later came back with two
It seems
something.
that the data you just sent over here, see, this seems like an anomaly too. I've never seen Lancaster that.
So that's our own little spreadsheet we keep, so when we go out and do a PFAS sample, the results come in, we put it on that sheet.
Oh, so do we have sheets like this?
No, that's ours, we
We
made that.
actually have the lab results.
We take the
Oh.
lab result that comes from them, take that result,
And-
put that into the spreadsheet, and then that gets the
This
lab
spreadsheet?
result, yeah, then the
So
lab result.
are these available, these spreadsheets?
Well, I
Those
can send you
spreadsheets, the
that.
lab results are.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm
You
asking.
want the actual lab results. Or you want that
He wants
sheet.
that
This sheet is great, this thing right
Oh,
here
I'll
is
give you that
fine.
sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I
yes.
mean, I like to see what,
No, we just keep that clear. I'll upload that to the commission.
that'd be great, that'd be great.
That was tough, Bill, huh?
Well,
I was pulling
no,
for you, you just
I
answered
have,
the
I
sheet.
have a problem with articulation of.
No, you
it's
think,
my
I think
problem.
you were doing good there.
Yeah.
Send them the Excel document.
So I had, actually, the discussion that you guys had prompted me with this last point I wanted to make. Last month, this open meeting law, I sent you a note on that, Chrissy, maybe you wanted to talk to it, I don't know if you're aware of it. But the thing that prompted me is conversations with, you can't be used as a pass-through for discussions. You can't be used as a pass-through for discussion. That's why, when we're talking about this 30K for the testing, that's why I said, because I had an issue about that. I didn't copy you guys on it because it falls into that category. So you gotta be really, really careful. So if you talk to him about, what was it? I forgot already what the topic. Oh, about when the SRS, and you say, hey, Mark, okay, what do you think? And you say, yeah, go for it. And then you go to him and say, hey, Mark thinks it's okay.
No, see, you
No,
can't do that.
So I'm just saying, you
Right.
gotta be really careful.
Right.
When you guys, I mean, I'm paranoid about it. I watched that whole thing that the attorney gave, that I sent you the links.
Yeah, I
Oh my
didn't-
God, I mean, it's really careful about this open meeting stuff. So
Yep.
these kinds of conversations and you gotta be really careful. I'm sure you know that, but it just prompted me to say, I just
Yeah,
go off
we-
this
lot-
open meeting.
Yeah, you try, you
tutorial.
know, and it somehow, we do our best.
No, I mean, it's very simple. If I talk to them, I'm talking to them, and they can't be like, well, Mark already said this, or like, absolutely not. It is like, when I was working with Fran on for the citizen's position. That's it.
Anyway, so that's, that's what caught my attention. That's all I have.
I was gonna ask about the grant for but I think you already may have it. For the Round Road and et cetera. Any?
Still moving
Okay.
ahead. Yep, we got letters of support
Yep.
from different people in that area.
Yep,
The engineering, the person who's in charge of from Ty and Bond, that does these specifically, she feels our application is stronger than any of the other ones she has, that she is submitting. Not saying it's better than everybody else in the state, but we'll see how it goes.
yeah.
So we're gonna apply for both?
Yes,
They're
because she
together.
said as soon as we added Round Road to Leominster Shirley, she said that because it's covering your residential portion of it, residential, commercial, all of that, she said that bumped, what she
That was
felt
big.
bumped the project up to a higher,
So did
So.
we talk about my electric ave tree?
You have a dream of electric out?
Or just, not electric, Chase Road?
oh,
Chase Road.
Okay.
it's tough.
Chase Road's tough.
Well, I mean, 'cause
Apple Street
we're-
is conservation. The whole left side's conservation.
But at the
But
same
main-
time,
the
we're
main
also
purpose would have been
big
to
crunch.
enable,
Lane, get to-
commercial planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
That's all I have.
I was gonna follow up with, Mr. Emke's comment about the, open meeting. So we had gotten so I've been getting public records requests. I feel like town hall when they're getting them a million times. I got one from Joan Pease asking about that, the open meeting law training. She wanted to know exactly when you guys took your training, your dates, your certifications, everything like that. So, I've always been under the impression, but I did confirm with, legal counsel that it's not legally required, which I have said to you guys in the past, it's not legally required that you guys have to do open meeting law training, that it's suggested and it's everything. So the other part to hers, which I will respond to her, but following up with the open meeting stuff was, asking about when you guys were sworn in and done all these dates and everything, so. But you had asked, and that's why I didn't email, you had asked if I knew of the same that I have
Oh,
always.
yeah, I found two.
Yeah, so you asked me about other training sites, so when you guys were, and I should have given you that when you were,
Well, the ones that I
sworn
did
in
are
as.
not official then, or?
I didn't even open the
I've had
links,
enough of-
yeah, no, and there's nothing legally that you have to
Okay.
take to sit on this board of commissioners, of water commissioners.
Good to
So, these are other just trainings that are out there, you had just asked if there were other ones, so those are the
No,
ones.
actually, I asked, is there a certificate? The
Oh, yeah,
implication,
no,
is
I
there
don't-
like a
yeah.
certificate or certification, because I didn't see, I went through it, they didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Now you can get this.
Oh, yeah, no, don't buy, no,
No prizes,
no, there's no
prizes.
legal
Okay.
requirement that you guys have to get certifications for all of that. So anyways, that was to follow up with that. Then, I had one other question, we had another public records request from Bob Pease, asking about,
Enabling acts.
yeah, the enabling acts, so, an electronic copy of any amendments to the 1939 Acts of Mass General Assembly that created the Lunenburg Water District. So,
As far as I don't, it was created by legislature, I don't think we have the authority.
You
to
weren't
change
there
it.
then?
But there are little segments, like for expansion of the water district, it tells you how to do it.
Correct.
Election of the board, that was, clerk treasurer used to be an elected position, and then we switched.
but
to
those aren't,
appointment.
but those aren't amended in the actual,
And the acts.
in the
No.
actual act. So in having the conversation with him, is what I wanted to ask you, is my response was going to be that, it's our understanding. So if there is anything, I guess I'll wait to see if there's further. If I have to have legal counsel go through to prove that there's nothing in there, is that something, so when you ask for public records requests, like if I have to pay legal counsel to dive into all of this, there's a fee associated with it,
What did he request?
an electronic copy of any amendments to the 1939 Act of Mass General Assembly that created the Lunenburg Water District, an electronic copy of the minutes of the LWD annual meeting that occurred in the 1980s that adopted certain portions of the MGL laws related to elections.
I
So I-
didn't know, but I thought that there was provisions for if people requested the record, but maybe, to have, if we had to have somebody research it, there has to be a.
Oh yeah, there's fees and stuff that can go along with it, so so I guess,
I guess that would be something that, to ask Mr. Pease if he's willing to pay associated fees with.
with legal
researching-
and everything
with
to do all the
researching
research,
information.
okay.
And that we can, and I don't think we're legally obligated to do all that research for nothing.
That's what I'm not sure, as far as
Because
looking
people
back
could
at the
do a
acts of
public,
1939.
you could get a request that could take you the rest of the year.
Yeah,
And, so, I would look into it
Yeah, let's look into
further.
that.
okay.
You have to
Um,
make sure that everybody gets the right information,
Yeah.
Yep. And lastly, Bill, I did get your costs for your postcards. So she looked back at, we did the postcards for, the survey, right? Is that what we did the
Yeah,
postcards
yes,
for?
yes.
Yes, so she looked back and we actually did it direct, cause she asked who we like using, and we do a lot of our printing and everything with Minuteman Press, she wanted to use a local company. So she actually pulled the actual invoices from them, so with the, so those were the invoices, so printing, mailing, postage, everything on there, it was right around $3,400,
For the printing.
just for the
Yeah.
printing, the postage
Yeah.
and everything. She told.
Oh, the postage?
Oh, no, I'm sorry,
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, postage was like she says $1,234, which is what it was on here. The printing of them was the $1,600 from the printers to go out. And she thinks it would take her like anywhere between 2 and 3 hours, $500. So she said $3,400 total. for the
Total.
mailer.
to have the
Sorry.
mailer out the door.
Exactly.
Postage per,
Postage is just over
Yeah, Minuteman.
1,200, printing is just over 1,600, and then 2 to 3 hours
Is
of
that
time.
everybody in the district or everybody in the community?
So this is
Yeah,
where,
already.
Because I think
this
the
was for
survey
5,
went- I thought the survey went out to everybody.
it did, 5,000. I mean, part of me,
That's the whole zip code.
that's,
it's,
it's tough, I mean, we could,
it doesn't make any sense to send it to people that aren't in the district.
I know, but the hard part is
Yeah.
then you're putting names, like,
Yeah, now.
Yeah,
Now
how
you're
do you
li-
admit-
And
Yes.
I would disagree because I think that there are residents that aren't in the district that may wanna have input because they use the public water supply.
But they can't
Sure, but
But
they
they
can't
can't
vote.
vote,
No.
but still, they may wanna have some
I don't know
input.
how you're gonna pull those out.
And I think
That's
it's
gonna be
probably
tough.
cheaper.
Exactly,
it's probably
because then at
cheaper
the same
not
time,
to-
if you're pulling them
Yeah.
out, see, right now,
I think
you're
you're right.
probably sending one, right now,
Yeah.
you're sending one to an address.
Yeah.
If I pull out certain addresses and I try to use the data that we have, then I'm sending one to you and your wife, and you, and you know what I mean, like, is it gonna go to
I feel
multiple
that
to
we
the
may
same
be splitting
address?
hairs over that, and
Yes.
it's just easier just to send it.
So, but let's make it clear, if you're a water district customer, you live
Yeah,
in a water
okay.
district or
Right.
something, so.
We probably have to put something that you have a right to vote if you're within the, you know.
Okay, voting,
There are a lot of filters on that direct mail thing. There's like income, how many people, families, how many people per household. They can actually segment it that way.
I
but
doubt they do.
They can't do
They're
this,
not gonna
they
filter
can't do
the
water customers.
oh, yeah.
That's not one of the options.
And then she did give me, you guys had voted up to 4,000, which we didn't tell her, she said to do, I didn't go through all of this, but basically project details, working with us, Facebook, all the other stuff, 2,700. So we're under what you guys had voted on, and she gave me the exact invoices of what we paid last time, so. Are we,
The graphics for the wording and the graphics for the.
For the
you gonna do
postcards?
that? What do we put on there?
she hasn't given me a draft yet. This,
What do we want on it?
I mean, we.
Come
we-
vote.
Yeah.
Your life depends on it.
Well, I sent her one that, a couple of the residents had actually come in and shown us, the one when you guys just had your town meeting here to vote the override, like the Teachers Association sent something out. So we've just been giving ideas, just nothing too crazy, because if somebody sees something with a ton of writing, they're like,
Yeah.
but something catchy. So as soon as she sends me, a draft, I'll send it to you guys.
Should probably say special meeting, should probably have the date,
Yes,
should probably say
yep,
water district.
yeah, we'll make sure
The
everybody
main
knows it's at
topic
the.
is Treatment,
At the auditorium, and then hopefully some kind of link or something about if you'd like to get more information, go to the website. And then last but not least, Bill, you sent me the 2 Facebook pages that you were interested in.
Yeah, that was my best effort.
So that I do already share, and I will make a point for all of our posts to get shared to these. So I went back, cause like just now, when you sent these to me, I went right on and realized I had already shared to this group.
I always see them, like when we're having the meeting and stuff, like water. commission.
Sometimes I'll just do, I
Or
was.
the water breaks, I see them.
Yes, so it has been, the agenda, I would just post to our site.
Which one was that,
The
Lunenburg?
Lunenburg Independent,
Yeah.
and then just Lunenburg, Mass.
Yeah.
So anyways, we are there, and I will
Oh.
make a point to post them.
I
That was,
don't-
that was one of your action items.
I know.
So I will make a point to post there.
You don't go on there, Bill?
I don't do
They
Facebook.
campaigned
In fact, I've
heavily for
never-
you,
I've
all
never-
over that, and you never even
I've
looked?
No, people send me stuff. People send me stuff. Say, for example, last year, did you see this? And it was out of the blue personal attack on me.
Hmm. Yeah, they
Someone
happen.
I didn't even know. And that one I felt obligated to respond to.
Mm.
That's the only time I've ever posted.
No?
But Facebook has, in my mind, it's got good stuff on there,
Well, you're the
And
one that
then-
wanted to put it on.
huh?
Said you're the one that brought this up.
I think this is good stuff. I think
Yes, I'll make a
announcing the
point
meeting
to-
for the-
It's
for the whole
easy enough,
town,
because right
yeah.
before you hit
What-
post, it says, do you want to just post it or share to groups? I just literally click share to groups, so I'll just make a point to do that more.
All right.
That's
You
it.
Anything else?
I'm
I'm
done.
kind of expecting maybe Bill should pop up on all the Facebook posts saying, I am Gillespie and I approve this message. Don't they do that?
Yeah, I do. All right, so on action items, it looks like we hammered out the Facebook post thing.
Yep.
And
The
public access TV, I feel like we already discussed that earlier,
Who's
correct?
gonna do the recording? I don't have the greatest speaking voice, so I'm not up for it.
I think,
Well, you're the best looking.
No,
Hey,
Woody beats me hands down. Friends always say, whoa, what?
I don't mind, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do, I don't
You
really,
do a good job.
Now, you've got a quiet voice.
I do have a quiet voice, sometimes it sneaks out.
We're just,
Let's get there first, and then
Yeah.
we'll, okay?
I'll do it, but I know, I have a feeling that I'm not gonna be the top vote.
I haven't watched the most recent video that's out there, so I don't know what kind of a format. I'm not saying we have to use that format.
Okay. Public comment?
And pretend I'm short. Tom Alonso, 284 Lancaster Avenue. I want to just understand, as you were talking about the mailers, which I'm glad to hear you're doing, but am I correct in saying, in hearing or assuming because of what I heard, that the water district doesn't have addresses of all the houses that live in the water district?
All right, normally we just do public comment, and I try not to go back and forth.
Well, you know, I mean,
Yeah, okay.
you don't have to answer me.
No,
I would,
Yes,
I
we do.
understand.
Yes, I do,
We absolutely do.
okay.
but is it worth taking every single, is it?
It may not be cheaper to do it then.
Yes, that's the only option that I was trying to say, was that it may not be to take that list and have them print that instead of just, here's the
Instead of
Lunenburg resident to
Oh.
every address.
Okay, well, for what it's worth, I didn't understand that part. I'm sure that the mailings that you can do you can parse out just the addresses, so duplicate addresses that have spouses or multiple members that can vote, you can just send one to an address and just give them the address. I think it would be bad form to give people, because there are addresses that aren't part of the district, and if they get something and come to vote, then it's gonna be on incumbent, somebody's gonna get there and they're gonna say, well, you don't get a clicker because you're not part of the district, and say, well, you sent me the mailer, why'd you send me the mailer? So for what it's worth, I would be very
We can look
accurate.
into it.
It's like my invitation. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I move that we adjourn.
Oh, thank God, I thought you were gonna talk about something else.
Tell you the truth, something else did cross my mind, but
Paul,
I'll.
was that town meeting, Paul? Or was
Excuse
that
me?
town-